Good day, Please Advise Nation. Okay, so we have something different for you today. Every time I say something new, something different, something special, it's always like, well, everything's new, different, and special. So what does that mean? But we do. Today we are playing an episode of my Lifetime original movie podcast, Mother May I Sleep With podcast, in the main feed at Please Advise. This is going to be an extra long podcast for those of you who are not used to the long form. Sorry, I'm a long form kind of bitch when it comes to things that I'm obsessed with. If you guys have never heard me explain why I started this podcast, it's because I'm obsessed with Pretty Little Liars. It was my favorite show in the world. And when I was able to find PLL podcasts that ran upwards of 2 hours, I would listen voraciously. Is that voraciously? Hungryish-lessly. I would listen with great fervor. I don't know. But I was obsessed. So I wanted to do something long form for something that I was also obsessed with. And Lifetime original movies have got me through some very hard periods in my life. I will say that there were times in my life, I'm actually kind of in one now. I'm not in a bad place, by the way. I don't mean that in a bad way. It's like a good creative incubation where I just stay at home. I absorb entertainment that is like making me happy, and I create at home. And that's where I am right now. That's where I was when I was watching, 4 Lifetime movies a day, on top of working. Like I would just work, and then Lifetime it, 3 Lifetime movies, go to bed, wake up, do it all over again. So I'm like kind of in that space right now, but I became completely obsessed with Lifetime original movies. And I decided that if I ever did a long form podcast, that's what it would be about. So this is what it's about, baby. We're about to enter season 3. On July 1st, we are launching season 3, which is, I guess, Kristina used the word rebranded, which I guess is what it is. We're launching a new logo. We have a new title sequence, which we've done every single year for the Lifetime podcast. And it's going to be really fun, really sexy, fresh, hot, fun. Again, it's going to be great. So we have Jackie Johnson coming on. We have the Girls from Hollywood Crime Scene coming on in 2 different episodes. One of my favorite podcasts. We have Ronnie Karam and I. We have Ted Travelstead. We just recorded his episode, which is fabulous. But Kristina and I recorded 2 episodes together so far. Season 1, we did The Client List starring Jennifer Love Hewitt, which is just, that's a chef's kiss beyond. But then season 2, we did The Girl He Met Online, which actually works out really well for Please Advise. Because a lot of you meet people online that are like very questionable, to be honest. So if you enjoy this, please go ahead and listen. If you don't enjoy, please call 323-450-7408. We will answer your calls on the upcoming episodes where we're going to have a bunch of fun, cool, kooky guests. And I'm very excited about that. But I'm most excited about truly July 1st. Launching season 3 of Mother May I Sleep With podcast, which is how some of you people out there listening, I don't mean to say you people in a hateful way, but some of the people out there have found this podcast because of Mother May I Sleep With podcast, which I think people have found through also My Favorite Murder. And I'm so excited about it. I've worked really hard on this. I'm really excited. This is a great episode. If you don't like it, feel free to tune off. But if you do like it, maybe go to the iTunes store and subscribe to Mother May I Sleep With podcast. And you know what? We'll have a sexy, fun, hot, kind of like, living La Vida Loca debut on the 1st. Thank you so much, you guys. Kristina and I doing The Girl He Met Online. She cray. You're not all cray. Most of you are actually like pretty ass saying it's the guys that need some work, which, by the way, guys, like, thank you for listening also and not feeling alienated by that comment. Those real big dick energy guys out there know that that was not an attack on them. I love you so much. Here's the episode at 323-450-7408. Always call us. Bye.
Welcome to season 2 of Mother May I Sleep With podcast, the only podcast dedicated exclusively to Lifetime original movies. I'm your host, Molly McAleer. Kristina Lopez, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm feeling a little bit like The Girl He Met Online, which is the movie we're doing today. I'm feeling a little bit psychotic. I feel like I've been pushed to the edge, not because I was adopted and the lesser liked child / have some sort of personality disorder, although I might have a personality disorder.
I have to say you have a lot more life behind your eyes.
Oh my God, thank you. Because there is something so... it's like almost Hitchcockian, the way that this girl, like, she speaks breathy and she's very pretty and like stylized for her era. I mean, this actress is so interesting to me and was such a good pick. And I was so surprised they were able to get her into 2014.
Yeah.
When this movie was made, because she seemed so 90s.
It was incredible. It was incredible. And she was just so breathy and like aloof in the right ways.
Exactly. And the breathy thing is obviously something she does, the way that like Reese Witherspoon changes the register of her voice in every movie. Like, because her real voice, she would speak back. Like, when she was by herself, like, I hope the bitch is dead. And it would almost
or when
be
she was
like,
talking to her mom,
yeah, or like just to herself.
Yeah.
Like she would always read something very straightforward, but whenever she was talking to a guy, she'd be breathy.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like I'm like, how does a person speak so lightly?
That's kind of like the women who do like baby doll voice in front of men.
Yeah, Paris Hilton.
Yeah,
like it's like I'm just an innocent nobody. It's like, I don't know. So this movie we wanted to do because a lot of people recommended it this was a huge recommendation on the board.
Yeah.
And I needed to do something good with you to top last year's episode, which was The Client List, which is one of the best Lifetime movies of all time.
It was pretty great. Yeah.
If you guys haven't heard that episode, you should go back and listen. And if you're new here or don't listen to my other podcast, you should know that this is Kristina Lopez.
Hi.
She's my best friend of like 8 years, and she produces Please Advise, my advice podcast.
You know, I'm getting in my head about criticizing women's voices right now. I'm having trouble like
listening to
like,
yourself.
It's like no, but it's like that women should be able to talk however they want, right? And not be judged. I don't know. Now I'm like,
well, no,
you know that kind of crisis.
Don't get in your head, girl. Because no, first of all, that's what we do. We roast people on this show that do not deserve it, that are hardworking actors that literally showed up to set every day, did nothing to me. Like the things that I've implied or said about Haley Duff without actually saying them are terrible when I really think about it. Like if I was Haley Duff and I heard that, I'd feel upset, especially because I think she's a nice girl.
Thank you, Molly. That makes me feel better.
So I do want to say something about my viewing experience, and I want to hear about yours. Okay. But I watched this one twice.
I did too.
And the first time, there were things I missed that were so big. Like there's flashbacks. I didn't see one flashback the first time I watched this movie, and I napped on. It was Friday night, and I napped after my meeting.
Yeah.
So I could wake up at like 7 fresh and do these notes. I was like dead sober, fresh, watching this movie, taking notes, dedicated, and I missed entire scenes.
The pace of this movie was insane. Like, I was just aghast. Like, I was taking detailed notes, and so I would have to rewind a lot because I was like, wait, there are 3 huge things that just happened like next to each other.
Also, the timeline was screwed up because they were saying I love you by the end of the movie. But like she had just met his parents, but like he also had no questions about why he hadn't been to her living space yet.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things where I'm like, is this like a Fast and Furious 2-week romance that went crazy, or is this over 6 months?
Molly, you know, his dad had just died fairly recently.
Yeah.
So I think he was like in a vulnerable place, and his heart was open to love. And this breathy girl just comes in and breathes on him. And like
he's in love with her right away.
Immediately.
I mean, it is actually kind of the dream I would say for like me in my 20s. It's what I wanted more than anything, is to like walk into the date.
She was young, right? She was like 22,
23, which shocked me too, because the actress I would say looks maybe 27. And I don't mean that she looked like a beautiful 27-year-old girl. She looked, because she was mature looking.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But anyway, The thing that I liked about the male lead in this movie, whose name is Sean Roberts.
I have a lot of thoughts about him.
I want to know them all. As we watch the movie, I do want to say that I like that he had a lot of powerful women in his life. Like, he was very tight with his sister and his mom. And
I love that.
And it almost seemed like his guy friends came secondary to the women in his life.
Yes.
Which was like... Not just maybe because his dad was dead. Maybe they were always like a matriarchy.
Yeah. But I also wonder if he would be the guy like that's like, hey, I have a sister. You know what I mean? And like,
like a feminist thing where he's like, I have a sister, okay, man? Like, don't rape girls. Like that kind of thing. But then also his sister was 8 years older than him. And I was like, maybe she's been brainwashing him his entire life. And like, he doesn't actually think she's that cool.
Oh, I never thought about that.
I mean, I'm going to admit it's a weird place for your brain to go. It was weird when I
love the both. I love the mom and the sister. I love them as women figures. I thought the mom was kind of hot.
They're like good. They're feminist icons. Like if they did some sort of women in business thing at like the White House, if the White House was a cool place to go, still, I would hope they'd be invited. They seem like they were making big moves.
Yeah.
So
until she came along,
dude, like a person can just fuck you. I mean, I'm upset today as we record this because a person made me feel so weird about myself and so bad. Like, a person can fuck your shit up. Be careful around people, okay? They're sick. And not even just some of them. Almost all of us are sick.
Wow, I'm just feeling what you're saying right now.
Do you think that this woman is like Jodi Arias, where she was driven to this somehow through a series of unfortunate events? Or do you think that she is like a true psychopath?
I think she had obvious psychological problems.
Yeah.
Like, her mood was all over the place.
Okay, we'll talk about... there was a really weird tag for this about mental illness on the IMDb page, but we'll get to that a little bit later. I'm going to hear about it. It's just the only tag for this movie.
Okay.
So we're going to watch the first minute and 9 seconds. Normally we play the trailer before. We can play the trailer, but it just gives everything away. So I think that we should...
It really
not
does.
That people listen to this for the surprises.
Yeah.
But I want to play the first minute and 9 seconds of this because it really kind of makes you understand who our characters are, what we're dealing with. And we're watching it on YouTube, so it's real bad quality. Okay.
Can't we talk about it?
We have talked about it, Jillian.
I know, but we don't have to break up.
I told you I thought we should. Look, I was just being honest with you.
I'll change. I can change.
My cab's here. I'm sorry, Jill. I gotta go. They're sending me back to Estonia on another job. Listen, I left some of your things here for you to pick up, and when you do come by to pick them up, leave my keys in the mailbox.
Wait, Tony, please. That bastard. I'll teach him.
I love it. I'm going to teach him. I'm going to teach him moment. And by the way, sometimes we include our audio talking over this. So if you want to talk during this, you can.
I just came to say goodbye to the place, Tony.
I love this moment so much.
Time.
Truly a dream. Like, to do this to someone that's hurt me would make me feel so good.
Nice and ripe.
She just took a wedge of cheese from the fridge.
Probably a French cheese.
Car smell?
She just threw it in his new car.
Tony.
Ooh.
She's spray painting what looks like an expensive painting.
She spends so much time spray painting the bed sheets, and I'm like, why are you wasting your time? And like, you can just buy new bed sheets. It's not that bad.
Right, you got to go harder.
Yeah, the clothes is smart. See, now she's smart.
You want to cut ties, Tony?
Ooh,
Great.
So she's literally cutting his tie.
this was dumb. Like, she's throwing bottles in the toilet.
I mean, I guess that would suck to clean up.
And that's like the worst of it, is that all this is just like shitty to have to clean up. That was Beethoven's 9th second movement, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow, they really splurged. How much is Beethoven, do you think?
It's probably free domain. It's
really?
Like, depending on the performance.
Like who's
if
collecting on that?
If it was performed before 1932, then it is under free domain and you don't have to worry about citing it or anything. Fun fact.
That is a very fun fact. And also, that makes total sense because, like, who is Beethoven even related to?
Public domain, sorry.
Would he be going to, like, his great-great-great grandkids? Or, like, I mean, he wasn't signed to a label.
It has to do with, like, copyright laws.
Oh, no, it makes total sense.
Yeah.
Who would it go to? So let's go back to my notes. I'm not using pages. I'm using notes. That was a really good song, right?
Mm-hmm. You get so musical around me. I love it.
I know. We always sing songs together. So she goes home to her mom, who's checked out and weird. That's what I wrote in the notes. She just seems just very checked out and weird. You don't get sick from her.
She has like the weirdest non sequitur to like explain her illness. She's like talking about something completely different. And then she's like, by the way, I went to the doctor. Heart's getting better. I should be able to work soon. And it's like, wait, this is another established thing.
Yeah.
It's like, because like I was going to say the opening of this movie is like, I feel like we were in the middle of another part of a movie I want to watch.
Yeah.
To see how we got there.
It's very interesting because it's an exposition light movie. So it's like the exposition happens like, it just something will randomly get brought up and all of a sudden we learn like she's adopted.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like it's like so late in the movie. And like, there could have just been a single line about like, because the adoption agency said that they were going to fax over your birth certificate for the job application. Like that would have been a perfect way to say it. We get to, the car, like, or so you can get approved for a car loan or something like that. That would tell you that the mom thinks she doesn't have a car.
Yeah.
Something.
It's so ridiculous. It's a lot of like quick cuts like that. And you're like, oh, this is like a heavy thing that like you should have under control, but we don't. We don't know until like the third act.
So, I do want to go back a second just to say that I was shocked when I was watching her destroying her ex's apartment because it seems like whatever made them break up, she showed her ass. Like she did something that was really bad. And that's why she was being like, I'll change. I'll be the one to change. So why would he entrust her with going into the house to get things?
It was my understanding that like he was breaking up with her because he was being his job was being transferred to Estonia and he was moving to Estonia. So he's like, sorry, it's not working out. Let's be real.
Oh,
Bye.
Right. Oh, right.
Bye.
Like, we're not going to get married.
I paid attention to that because I was like, Estonia is such a random reference. Like,
yeah.
Now I want to know what he does for a living.
I mean, I bet he's a lawyer. Well, no, but no. I think he was just traveling to Estonia because he comes back later in the movie.
It was because she trashed his apartment. He came back to deal with that. Because
right.
We'll get to there.
Okay, so.
But, yeah, he lives there now.
He's like, bye. So, still a huge task to trust someone with if like you don't, because he knew that she had some stuff previously in her life, which we'll find out about later.
Yeah.
But it did seem like he knew the way he was talking to her that he knew he was kind of talking to a crazy person.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, dude, like this is your fault for letting a crazy person in your house. You have your friend go pack that shit up.
Yeah.
And leave it on the stoop and like wait for her there. Okay. So anyway, the mom asks her if something happened with her and Tony. And she gets upset about it. She like storms off to her room.
She turns into like a 14-year-old.
Yeah,
she talks to her
basically.
mom. She's like, I hate you.
Oh, guys, I need to tell you something. If you're wondering where Stephen Ray Morris is.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of feminine energy in the room today.
He does this like nobody podcast called My Favorite Murder. I don't know anyone who listens to it. And they are in Australia performing at the Sydney Opera House, which is crazy. And I'm so happy for Karen and Georgia and so happy for Stephen. Like he's in Australia doing something that he was a part of pretty much since the beginning.
Yeah, it's kind of amazing.
So we have a guest producer, Sammy Junio, who does Emoji Broken Psychos, and she's here. And Sammy, feel free to hop on the mic at any time if you have a question, if you'd like us to elaborate. You don't have a mic? Okay. Well, next time. So, my notes here, because I was killing it, obviously, when I wrote my notes. I wrote a business place in the world. Oh, okay.
What?
So I know why. So I don't know why I wrote a business place in the world, but I know that I was saying that we were flashing to some sort of like big corporate office.
Oh yeah,
a business place in the world. And I said a hot dude is giving some web advice, and he's blowing the people's socks off. It's talking about online shopping.
He's talking
loyalty.
about bounce rates.
Yes,
how to decrease, and it was actually really accurate because I know some of this web talk, so I was like amazed. I was like, wait. He must have had some, like, the screenwriter must have had a friend.
He must have, he must have.
Like, it was like really accurate.
But I also want to say the thing that I loved about this scene was the guys that he was explaining it to, their reaction. Like, it is so interesting that, like, for so long, if you told someone anything about the internet that was over the age of 40, they were like, whoa, like, no matter what it is, or like, yeah, you can measure data this way, or like, oh, we get this many hits, or like, you can embed a video. They'd just always be like, that is like crazy. And that's why I think online businesses got so cocky and weird and so many people got ripped off for so long. Because like, you can just say anything and make it sound way more complicated than it is and way overcharge.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of freelancers or people in general, like, that's how you get people off your back. You know, sometimes you just like try to out techie talk them and it makes them anxious.
I hate fucking jargon snobs. They're like losers to me.
Mama's boy. No, thank you. Ugh, you're like 100 years old.
I love this dating site.
Obsessed.
This is how I know they're in Philadelphia too.
Let me guess, you have a lot of love to give.
PhillyDatescene.com. Basic. You're basic.
Hi, I'm Andy Collins, and I guess I want what every guy wants.
What the fuck? How did she find this? Like, what is she looking at?
What is this video dating?
How, was she just swiping through people from here until she got to work the next day? I have so many questions.
Well, yeah, especially in jeans. And, you know, just someone to laugh with.
Okay, so that was Jillian going through. Now she's back on the prowl. This woman cannot be without a man. Like this, like a man defines her worth to her.
I know so many women like that.
Me.
Molly.
I used to very much be that way. But she's like back on the prowl and she's on these online dating sites, which for 2014, it was still a little bit it was just starting to be more socially acceptable, which is why I think Lifetime really capitalized on the fact that like online dating is such a horrible idea to so many people. They're like, that's how you get murdered. And it's like, no, you don't. Like you're like, maybe some people get murdered. But she's like, I don't know, for a pretty young girl, I'm surprised she's on like some old school dating site like this.
That looked like a Plenty of Fish situation.
It did. And I had no idea. I didn't pick up on the Philly thing.
She's poor though, right? That's like her whole hang up is that she's kind of poor.
Her hang up is that she's poor. Absolutely. And that she's going to wind up like her loser mom, which is like, by the way,
killed me by the
so
end of the movie.
Inaccurate and so weird. So, sorry.
She like writes hard into that towards the end of the movie and it kills me.
I know. So then all of a sudden she's on it's the next day. That was that transition music you heard. And she's watching a video dating site, what are those? Like that is.
I don't get it. I was like, why? How did she get like, I have so many questions about that.
I know.
Like,
and I think that.
How did she get like, she was just swiping dudes through the days until she got to work. She was at work doing this at work.
I think it was a different website and that this one was like maybe a paid site because then those are the kinds that would like give you more perks.
Yeah.
They're like, you're seriously looking for a partner.
Well, that's the future of Tinder probably, right? It's going to be like, hi. It's going to be like an autoplay video that's like, I like long walks on the beach.
Dude, it
like,
practically is that already. Have you seen the group dating thing?
That scares me.
Terrifies me. Like showing up with a girlfriend of mine and like two guys I don't know, like that's like, oh, you'll just beat the shit out of us. And I know that that's an oxymoron or like a hypocrisy because they just said online dating isn't dangerous. But the idea of being with two men, I'm just like, oh, I get overpowered in a second. You know?
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I mean, you know, self-defense.
I do.
So
don't mess with me.
Okay.
Oh, his description of his ideal date was so like pumpkin spice latte basic. And I know it's like post basic to say that pumpkin spice latte is basic. But he just wanted smart, funny, with a sense of style, not a Paris model, but, you know, someone who looks good in jeans. And he mentioned that twice. Like, he really wants a girl that looks good in jeans.
Yeah. I think he means he's an ass man.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's interesting that was the vibe that you got from that. And he wants someone to laugh with, which is like, who doesn't?
And also, Jillian is not funny, so it's a big shocker they wind up together.
It's so bizarre.
So he sees Jillian and he likes her back. Yeah. And there's something special there. Her boss calls her into his office and they immediately start flirting. And I thought that it was a sexual harassment thing. And I guess, I mean, ultimately in a way it was. But like the way that he was rubbing her shoulders when she first walked in, I was like, oh, her boss, like...
Bad touch.
Yeah, it was a bad touch. But no, they actually are in like a... friends with benefits arrangement.
Sugar daddy.
And he's
situation.
like, I got away out of the weekend. We can be together again. He says, he asked her how the car she's working or how the car he bought her is working out.
Oh, that's right. Because she said to her mom that she couldn't pick up dinner or something because she doesn't have a car. So she was lying about the car.
Jillian being too broke to have a car is a huge thing in this movie.
Yeah.
It's such a weird thing too, because it's like not that big of a deal to not own a car, but like it seemed like her self-worth was based around whether or not she owned this thing.
Yeah. And I also wonder if it was taken away from her or maybe she had to give her car away because she had to pay the legal fees. That's probably what happened. Oh, I'm just piecing it together now.
Girl, you're doing more work than the writer did.
My brain.
So she's like, I got to get back to work. And on her way out, he compliments her dress. And I actually did really like her dress. Just want to say that.
I felt like she was, oh, this is what I wanted to say. Like something about the aesthetics of this movie reminded me of the 1996 for some reason. Like,
I don't know. I said that this is like a 1994 movie.
Yeah, the guy was like hot for he was like 1996 hot, like Chris O'Donnell at his peak hot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, this movie was made in 2013. He's in like 2013.
Everyone in this movie belonged.
Does that make sense to anybody?
No, 100%. Everyone in this movie belonged in a different time. Like, they were Melrose Place cast members.
Yes.
Like, they weren't
bizarre.
Modern. It's 2014 this was made.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Do you think it was because it was made in Canada? Probably. Was it made in Canada? It was
probably a lot of them are made there.
Yeah.
They are, the ones from Canada are a little weirder too. I will say that. So Jillian's cyber stalking. She finds out her date is worth $15 million. His dad died and the mom acquired the company. And
you hate this.
He runs it with. I do. I hate Googling.
How do you feel that Jillian did it?
How do I do I feel that she did it?
Well, sorry, that was
about it?
Yeah.
I mean, she's crazy. So this like adds to my theory that like people who like sit around and do a lot of research on their dates before they go on them are lunatics.
She cops to it.
Yeah. And she does it in such a fake way. Like I was like, girl, you need to be teaching acting classes. Like that is your side hustle because
sorry, I Googled you.
So manipulative. So Jillian's friend, or her sister, tries to help her pick out an outfit for her date. She's nervous. She feels like she has nothing to wear. Her sister thinks it's Tony who's taking her on the date.
They were like, for two sisters that were like supposedly so like in touch and, you know, like she connects with her sister that's like, she's calm around you. Like the sister was checked out in like a lot of ways, like with what was going on in Jillian's life.
Here's my theory. I think that Bethany read Dr. Laura's book on maintaining a marriage because she seemed like she had created a new family with her husband and that was her priority. And like, even though they didn't have kids, it was like her and her husband are the new like branch on the family tree. They can't like go back and worry about Jillian. And the truth is that in relationships where people are overly involved in their siblings and parents' lives, they don't thrive as well because they are still in their old family, you know? You know what weirds me out is when people like get married and then they call their in-laws mom and dad.
What? Yeah, that is kind of weird. I don't know. I've never...
Like, hey, mom. And it's like, no, that's your mother-in-law. And like, also, what do you call your mom now?
Yeah, that's so weird. I don't think I know anybody who does that.
Oh, I know people who do it, and also Scott Peterson did that with Lacey.
I kind of want, like, are they orphans and they're calling their in-laws mom and dad because they're orphans?
No, it's like, you're my family now, too. Like, they'll say, like, you know, I love you like a daughter. And I'm like, well, don't turn her into your son's sibling.
Yeah.
You know? Weird.
Is that where your brain goes with that?
Eventually. Like, eventually when I'm really questioning, like, why it bothers me, it's like, it's a weird level of intimacy. Like, you can't have an in-law that you also call mom. If you do that, why don't you write into the podcast? I want to know about it. So she's like, oh, I'm not dating Tony anymore. It's like a new guy I met online. I don't want to jinx it. And like her sister like looks at the online stats and she's like, he seems like a catch.
Nobody asked you, Bethany.
Oh, so Bethany's like, how's it going living here? She's like, it's good, but mom sucks.
She fucking hates her mom so much, dude.
She's so vocal about it.
It shocks me to my core. Like, I felt like I got kicked in the stomach every time she talked to her mom. It was so horrible.
It was rough. It's like in real life when you see someone who's like really mean about their mom or to their mom's face, like you're just like, dude, when they're like, mom, shut up. And I'm like, dude, you're 30. Like, stop. Like, what the fuck?
To be fair, some people have really terrible relationships with their moms. So.
Yeah, no, totally.
But also just like, it shocks me.
But I'm like, horrible. Don't hang out with them then. If you have that bad of a relationship where you have to just resort to verbal abuse every time you hang out, maybe you guys aren't meant to be together. I don't know. Coming out of someone's vagina doesn't make them like your best friend.
That is true.
You know?
Yeah.
So her sister asks if she wants to find a roommate or something, and she says she can't until she pays all of her legal bills. And we flash back to her beating the shit out of one of her exes.
I was so violent.
I know.
She hit him in the head with a bottle.
I know. And like, it's so funny because it's also like very Three Stooges where I'm like, is that just like a fake, like, is that like made out of like candy or like sugar or whatever? One of those sugar bottles?
Yeah, I was surprised it didn't break. It was just like thunk. And
yeah.
It was like, that made it hurt more because I was like, is that real? What's going on?
Here's the one thing the one like writing thing I didn't like was that the guy that she beat up was cheating on her, which I feel like can lead a lot of women to that violence. Yeah. And I don't know if that cheating thing was what led her on this like psychopathic spree, but he needed to do something innocuous to piss her off like that, you know?
Well, there's like implied mental health things going on with her, right? Because her sister and her mom kind of go like, yeah, she's on her highs, but I worry about the lows.
She cry. So Jillian's mom thinks that she looks amazing for her date. She's like, can I take a picture of you? Aww. Which I thought was weird. Like, your 23-year-old daughter's going on a date. Can I take a picture of you? That's a little weird.
I don't know.
She's like,
I have the best intentions for her mom.
Yeah, no. I mean, the mom has tried her fucking best, dude.
By the way, this actress played Dawson's mom on Dawson's Creek.
Really?
I was like, she looked familiar. And so I Googled it and I was like, oh, she was the one that cheated on Dawson's dad.
I was just going to say, Dawson's mom was like kind of a hoe. She's like, Mom, I got to go. I'm in a rush.
She was a sexually liberated woman. I think they had an open marriage, right?
Maybe. I mean, maybe that was revealed. I haven't watched Dawson's Creek since
I only watched one season. I was like, I can't relate this to my actual life. It was too far.
I liked the first like 3 episodes where people were like, whoa, can you believe teenagers are talking like this on TV? And then I think they responded to like the world's notes that they were too sexualized and like speaking to adults. But let's get through this so I can play the next audio clip and get a tissue. Sorry, because my nose is running. So she's like, shouldn't the guy be picking you up? She's like, whatever, Mom. And she's like, well, when will you be home? And she's like, the later, the better. Ew.
Gross. So you're telling your mom that?
So she and the date meets in real life, and right away they're on. She's like a great flirt. And they decide to go for a walk. They talk about where they're at in their lives.
I never planned on going back, but my family really wanted me to join the company, and my sister's there too. So.
I have a sister too.
Oh, mine's 8 years older.
What? Mine's exactly 8 years olher.
I know that was a weird.
That's funny.
We both have sisters that are 8 years older than us.
What about your parents?
Oh, my real parents, they're dead. My sister and I were adopted. They died in a car crash when I was little.
Oh, well, that sounds tough.
I gotta confess, I thought she committed the car crash that killed her
much, but I always
parents.
tried
I think
to
she had
remain
something to do
an
with it.
optimist. You and your sister are really gonna like it here, Jillian.
Oh, this is such
Well,
a weird
I hope you do.
flashback.
And I hope we can be a happy family.
You'll never be my mother. Never!
Oh, Lord, let that little girl love me.
Like, what? Is that her memory?
I
Or
still
was
have my
that...
mother, but I
Also, like,
lost my
you
dad,
need
too.
to do some more,
Oh.
like, research on being an adoptive parent,
somebody really
because this
checked
is
me
not
out
an
online.
unusual
I'm
reaction for a kid whose parents just
But,
died.
Yeah. I have to give my mom credit. She's really taken over, and after my dad's heart attack, and she's grown the company, so.
Wow, strong woman.
What about your adopting mother?
She's in retail. Recently, she suffered a mild heart attack, but she's recovering and hopefully she'll get back to work soon.
A heart attack, that's scary.
It was.
Oh, yeah, this is so... She's just, like, watching her.
She's watching her mom die.
And it's, like, a poorly acted heart attack.
911, what's your emergency? It's my mother. I think she's having a heart attack.
Oh my God. She's like
Is her
watching
mother-
her mom have a heart attack.
I think she's having a heart attack.
It's like at that point, just don't call. Like, she's seen you not call for too long. Like, it's going to be really hard to come back from that. And like, that's the other thing. Like, the mom is never like, I've been so nice to you and you watched me have a heart attack for 90 seconds before you bothered to call 911. The phone seemed to be
She's
in
a
your
saint.
hand. Like,
She's a saint.
so, he's on the phone with Heather, his sister. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. So Andy's on the phone later with Heather, his sister. She sounds upset on the phone, but they agree to talk later. And then he tells her that they're trying to, then he's like, Jillian, yeah, we're trying to land this big account. And I wrote, the two of them are really getting on. Like, they're already like talking about like the small things in their lives, like the day-to-day transactions.
They like move fast.
Yeah. It's not even like,
It's a whirlwind romance, Molly.
exactly. And those usually are not great.
No, they're not.
So the date seems to continue. They go out again and again. A little relationship starts to build. Things are homey and romantic with them right away as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that it's because also he's a very sweet guy.
He is.
That's the other element of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's a sweetie.
yeah.
And so, like, if he's going to treat a woman right.
He's kind of a bro, but that's fine. He's like really sweet. He like really loves his mom and his sister. That's what I'm saying. Like he like grew up in a female dominated environment. Like
he's like bro light, I would say. Like, he's not.
he was probably a lot of
super
bro, but then he grew up.
Yes,
he like
exactly.
after his dad died, he went through a lot and he grew up. He realized he had to like, grow up.
So they wake up in the middle of the night. Jillian's mom has been calling her. Jillian tells her that she's being treated well. The dude has money. He's an internet marketing consultant. He's from a good family. His mom runs it.
He said that she's smart, and I was like, that's interesting. There's nothing that has indicated to me that this one lady is smart.
I mean, the way that she makes it sound, we find out later she lies kind of about how her rise to the top happened.
That's true.
And I mean, we know that like Jillian gets her raises by blowing the boss. So her mom's like, he should come over for dinner sometime. And Jillian's like, I want your mom. She's like, I want your place to look more presentable. And like, you too, Mom. And so she's so
bad.
ashamed of her home, which is, it's very middle class. Like, it's not like this, like, it's not a palatial estate, but like, people are allowed to be from middle class. And I think actually Andy, if anything, would prefer a nice middle class girl.
Here's the thing. It's like, I feel like the mom doesn't really have a good aesthetic or a sense of like style.
Very country kitchen.
It's this country crock kind of, yes.
It's that like, it's that cheesy like, oh, like you're the one who bought that painting from the 99-cent store and like earnestly hung it on your wall. Like of this like this vase with flowers in it. It's all very like what inspires you? But like, here's my thing. She adopted 2 kids. Like, you can't just adopt 2 kids willy-nilly. Like, you have to have money for that.
Do you think there's a Precious Moments figurine in the household?
I think there's so many. But I think that Bethany gave them to her for holidays. Like, because she knew her mom would like them. This mom doesn't seem like someone who really treats herself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
She's not, like, gonna buy that for herself.
No.
Oh man, she's broke though. We do know that. It's weird. So Andy invites Jillian to an event. He's like, it's going to be boring, but it's for work and I need to look good. There's going to be this big client there. I'll pick you up at your house. And she's like, oh, I'll meet you there. And he's like, no, 2 cars don't make sense. Text me the address.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, we see Jillian's ex's apartment is being discovered as the wreck it is. And it's just like...
This happened so quickly.
I don't know who this woman is because she's too dressed up to be a maid.
Yes, that's exactly my problem with it.
But she's kind of like a 45-year-old Asian woman.
Yes.
And I'm like, is she the building manager? Like, who is she?
Is she an adopted sister? I don't know. Who's this woman? And it lasts all of 30 seconds. It's like a Family Guy flashback. It's just like, what happened? And then it's right back to like the main story. It's so quick.
And you know, it's not impossible that is his new girlfriend already, but most guys don't go from a 23-year-old like hard-bodied girl to a 45-year-old Asian woman.
Here's the thing that like tipped it off for me, because he was talking to her later in the film and he's like, my sister will come and take pictures of the apartment. Don't touch anything. You were right to call me. And that's how I knew it was his maid.
Maybe it was a Heath Ledger, like it was his masseuse. And like she just didn't know he was out of town.
Maybe.
In Azusa or wherever he was.
Estonia.
Did I tell you what Azusa is?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't believe that. Okay.
A to Z USA, guys.
I mean, doesn't it sound like no, Stacey Jones told me that back when they were like trying to make California a cool place to live in the 50s, they just named it A to Z USA. Azusa. It's where Sheena from Vanderpump Rules is from. Okay, so he says, leave everything as it is. The police are going to come over and look at it. So Jillian's boss has booked them a hotel with a jacuzzi in the suite, just the way she likes. She's like, that sounds wonderful, but my mom and my sister need me this weekend. He's like, well, I need you too. And he offers to pay for his niece's babysitting. I think she like, but does her sister even have a daughter?
No, she didn't. She was just making that up. And then she was like, well, I have to babysit. And he's like, we can hire a sitter. Well, this baby has special needs. And it's just like, oh, okay. She's a pathological liar. And it's insane how quickly she spirals out in her lying.
She's like a catfish where it's like all of a sudden, like she can't just have like a snafu in her life. Like it's like, I just got diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and my best friend died in a car crash. Like that's always where they go.
I can't video chat with you.
Yeah. And also I can't video chat with you because my phone isn't working. So things are kind of tense between them. And he's like, are you happy with the arrangement we're in? And he's like, if it's not working, then it's not really an arrangement. And he asked her about the car he got her.
He went from like creepy to scary in this scene because he says at one point, when you're not available, it gets dangerous.
I mean, it's very weird. I don't know what he's saying to her. Like he's gonna fire.
And he's like massaging her neck while this is happening. It's like a little bit turn on, but also kind of scary.
I wonder, did it mean like he hits his wife or something?
I don't know. This is like there's so many plot lines here that open up and don't go anywhere.
I guess it just leaves a lot to the imagination, which I think art is supposed to do.
Booked our suite at the Green Hills Hotel with the jacuzzi you like.
Oh, Harris, that sounds wonderful.
It will be wonderful, I promise.
But I just found out that my mother and sister need me this weekend.
Harris looks
They
like
need you?
Joe Namath.
Well, so do I.
If anyone knows who that is.
It's to babysit my nephew.
Get a sitter, I'll pay.
No, you see, the boy, he has some issues, and I'm the only one who can deal with him.
He inherited them from me.
Jillian.
I don't want to.
Are you happy with our arrangement?
Well, yes, of course.
When it doesn't work out, it's not really an arrangement now, is it? You like your car?
Oh, yes, it's a lifesaver.
Your lifesaver. kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Since I'm a doctor, you know what? In a sense, that's what you are to me. A lifesaver.
Gross.
But when you're not available, it gets dangerous.
Well, I appreciate everything you've done for me, Harris.
And I expect you to show me.
I can't tell if Harris is his first name or last name.
I think it's his first name, which is like they're trying to make him a hot, like Harrison Ford. You know?
Doesn't do it for me.
I think that's their version of like a hot older guy because he's not gross looking.
Yeah, he's not disgusting, but he's not.
Maybe
like,
he's just gross enough that we'd
Brad
buy
Pitt.
that she'd fuck him for money.
Yeah.
You know?
It's Philadelphia.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like a Philadelphia 8.
That's a good point. I
know. I've only been to Philadelphia once. I can't speak on that
I have
scale.
no idea what that means either. So she asked her sister Bethany if she can get picked up by Andy from her place and stay there Friday too. She said she'd be embarrassed for him to see her place. Jillian gets ready for the next night. She puts on an expensive bag, or she puts an expensive bag in her purse, and she's so she goes to this boutique. Okay, this is a big plot point. I didn't realize that at the time.
Me neither.
She goes to this boutique and she's trying on a blouse, and I couldn't make out the price tag. Did you see how much it was?
No, I couldn't make it out either.
It's an exorbitant amount of money. I imagined it had to be like in the hundreds. And it's an okay black blouse. It's not like that special.
Yeah.
And the sales lady's like really putting it on her. She's like, "You look great. You should totally do this. This looks like an exclusive." So she goes into the dressing room and puts it in her bag. She's like, she has to think about it more.
What would you call that material? It's not
like silk. No, not silk, but it's like
a rough silk, like a light, like
a silk cotton blend.
Yeah, it's like it just looked like very Express 1999
and dry clean only.
Yeah,
and I'm like, girl, you can't afford dry cleaning.
No.
So have you ever shoplifted, by the way?
No.
You definitely have not. You're like one of those friends that like you're like never done it.
No,
never
because
will.
I would get caught anytime I do anything wrong in my life. I've always gotten caught, and also I just feel like I'm policed differently.
Yeah, no, that's true. I stole a tank top from Express when I was 15, and I've never felt so bad about anything in my entire life. Like
Did you get away with it?
Yeah, but my friends would steal like so much every weekend, and I started to feel like, well, I want to steal something. And
I never understood that. Maybe because my dad was like a small business owner.
I mean, I just knew that God was mad at me. I fucked up.
Oh, that's right.
I was an asshole. Like I was gonna go back and return it, but I heard you can get arrested retroactively. So I was like, I'll call it a loss, and just you know, it points down for me with God. Like I'll make it up later.
Did you wear it a lot? Did you even like the top?
Yeah, I wore it all the time.
Oh, okay.
It was like,
did you feel guilty every time it laid across your chest?
Absolutely.
Do whatever it takes to get him to sign with us.
Well, Jillian's coming, so that should be good luck.
Who? His latest online achievement.
My mom looks like Linda Carter.
She's amazing.
She's pretty.
Wow. So when do we get to meet her?
Soon enough. Don't you worry.
I've seen her picture. I can vouch that she's pretty.
And she's a hard worker, and she's an accountant, and she's taking care of her mother who recently had a heart attack.
So she must be special.
Yes,
Aww.
she is.
My son.
I wrote that the whole family was hot and the mom is waspy hot.
I mean, they're so...
I objectified them.
They're like a great-looking family. Which
they
I
are
think,
a great-looking family. I think the sister doesn't have the right haircut for her face shape, but other than that, I approve of the strong women running a family company.
It was a little too mature for who she was.
Exactly.
So the family knows now about her, and like this is a big deal. I think that this is something they really want for him in the opposite way Jillian's family wants it for her.
Yes.
With Jillian, it's like, can we pawn her off? And with them, they're like, this is our special boy, and he should have children. That's how I feel.
Yes. He has to continue the family line now that her husband is dead.
So I wrote here that I felt like he was a ballless loser, but I think I was just in a bad mood.
Who,
I mean,
the brother-in-law?
the boy.
Oh, yeah.
I was being a dick. So Bethany's husband is upset about
Who wronged
Jillian.
you?
I know, right? I mean, I was just pissed, I think. Sometimes these white boys just piss me off. I'm like, oh yeah, good looking white boy, you fucking idiot. Like your whole family takes care of you. They're all up your ass. Like, who cares? Like maybe Heather's gonna die alone. It doesn't look like she has a husband. Like,
oh, well, she has an ex-husband, we learned.
oh, I didn't know that.
She says that in the movie.
Wow. Early divorce.
Yeah.
So Bethany's husband is pissed that Jillian is staying. We learned that he does not.
I understand why you had a hard time liking, or I had a hard time liking, because I'm just like, he's so privileged, but he's also a sweet guy.
Yeah, I think the privilege it's annoying to see a privileged white guy.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like women are like doting on him, but he's doting on them too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He like escorts everybody out of a building all the time. Like I think 60% of his time is like escorting people outside of the
or opening car doors.
Yeah.
He's very complimentary too.
Sorry, I just did a wildly hand gesturing like a New Yorker should.
So her sister's like, she just wants to get ready for a date. And the husband says, poor guy, should we warn him about what he's getting into? So he like hates her.
Yes.
And Jillian's in the background. She goes, Scott, if you have something to say to me, why don't you say it to my face?
I was like, oh my God.
And then she leaves and he goes, just this weekend. And then I don't want to see her here again. So like, what has she done? We like learn like she must have done something.
Like Scott is not here. Scott is balding and he's angry and that his wife is letting her sister into his life and he's not having it with, what's her name? Jillian.
And the only thing I could think is that like maybe he was like hogtied in the corner of the room when the mom was having a heart attack and like he watched Jillian do nothing about it.
That's the only like plausible answer. Or maybe she set fire to something of his.
Yeah, I mean, but
I don't know.
Maybe he set her up with the guy that she hit with the bottle.
Maybe.
I don't know.
That's actually, I like that better than whatever I came up with.
He could be his brother. And like they were trying to do the brother-sister date thing.
That's so creepy to me.
I know. So Jillian's doing well with this boss. Like she's a good trophy. And she sees the shop lady enter the room and she gets quiet. It's the woman who she stole the blouse from.
Yeah. She should have just gone to the bathroom.
I mean, it was wild. So she takes his coat, Andy's coat, and puts it over the blouse. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, this shop girl, like, wasn't even that good in the scene she was in. Like, why is she back?
I don't know. And it was like, she wasn't a good this whole interaction was awkward. She was like staring at the girl seductively, kind of.
Yeah. It was she was so flirty with Andy. I was like, it looked like she was gonna fuck both of them, but it turns out like she was a wife of one of the business guys and she showed up in place of him.
And that bald guy that's involved in the conversation, he's just basically there to be like, this is this person connected to this person. Like every single scene he was in, he was doing something like that.
Oh God. And he was real gross. So the client says Dottie owns a shop. Dottie asks Jillian if she knows who she like knows at the shop, and Jillian's like, no. So Dottie's playing this little game with her where she's trying to catch her in the lie. She's like, you look so familiar though. She asked her name, Jillian Casey, and then Dottie starts laying it on real thick. I wrote, she knows exactly who Jillian is.
I was waiting for her to reveal it. Like,
I know. I thought she was going to do it on the spot too, but like I was like, that's also not appropriate. Like that would make her look crazy.
Yeah, that's true.
You know? So Jillian's like, excuse me, I got to go to the bathroom. She can't handle the heat with Dottie. And she looks into the mirror and says, that rich, spoiled bitch. So Jillian doesn't like rich people.
She gets like on one.
Yeah.
She's very insecure about her economic status, you guys.
She also narrates a lot. Like she talks to herself all the time. Like feeling like this is what I'm thinking. It's so weird. So she starts to like bang on the paper towel dispenser, and I thought she was gonna start like fully trash the bathroom, but she doesn't. She opens her phone and she sends a text. So Andy gets a text at the table. And he's like, oh, she's sick. We have to leave. And then he's like, oh, while you were gone, Dottie wanted your number. She wanted to know where you work.
She expects you to come by the shop. And Jillian's like, ugh, that bitch. Ugh. Like right in front of Andy. And Andy's like, what? And she's like, I just didn't really like her. That's all. I
totally
mean,
rational response. Okay, hun.
I mean,
so weird.
Was that her snapping, or were she and Andy close enough that she could be tearing down?
I had a hard time because like we had that montage of them dating, but that like didn't establish a sense of time. Like usually with montages like that, it's like, oh, they're playing together in the snow and then they're like hanging out on the beach.
Yeah.
Like, so like months have passed.
Yeah. You're like, oh, this is like, there was no, I mean, this movie has no sense of time
at all.
No.
Like this is such a weird time warp movie that like, you don't worry about following the plot. You're fine.
Yeah. Oh, good girl. So Andy drops her off at her place. He's like, you should come to my mom's house for dinner. He says, tomorrow she's staying with her mom, so she'll have to meet him there. And he's like, okay, I'll text you the address. And I'm like, why does he understand that logic? Why won't he just insist on picking up the idea that she is not happy with her living space with her mom?
Yeah.
And I wrote, at this point, I know a guy who hasn't shown me his place lives in a dump, or that I have to have a conversation with him about it. But, like, what do you think of, like, you don't take guys home. So, like, do you explain, like, I just don't bring people to my house. I do out calls only. Or, like, do you eventually say, like,
I just say I have a roommate.
Come over to my house?
I just say I have a roommate.
I don't know.
It's kind of awkward. I have a roommate.
I think it's weird that she won't get picked up from her mom's house and that he should have picked up on
I think
that
he gets
now.
that, like, she's embarrassed about her status in life. And that, you know, she needs to be ready. She needs time to, like, get him. I don't know, because she's also moving fast, but I guess it's all... He should have picked up that she was lying by, like, how much she was dodging that. Is that something there, right?
Yeah. But guys don't pay attention like that, maybe?
Yeah, I don't know.
They, like, think of, like...
not all guys.
They think of, like, more random things. They're like, oh, she might be cheating. Their mind doesn't go to, like, oh, she's... sad about her socioeconomic status and embarrassed of her old mother.
Yeah.
So Jillian tells her sister after the date she's a weird feeling they'll be moving in together soon. And her sister's like, take it slow. Don't overload it with expectations. So
she listens to her sister. She's like, you know what? You're right.
Yep. So she goes home to her mom's house and her mom sees her with the blouse. She's like, that is so beautiful. And so she's like, no, it's not. And she rips it off and the buttons fly everywhere. She's like, it's an overpriced rag. I can't believe what they charge for it. Why did she? I understand now or later you'll understand why she ruined it.
Yeah.
But this looks so psycho. I'm like, Jillian, I think you need serious help.
Well, that's how they're trying to paint this picture of Jillian and her, like, crazy, quote unquote, craziness. You know, like, she's always just going to extremes with her mom because she fucking hates her mom so much. But they need to paint a fuller portrait. I just don't like how this, like, these aspects of her unravel.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It was like, I was trying to figure it out because I'm like, ooh, okay, like, Fatal Attraction has something like this where there's an element of, like, this person's crazy.
Yeah. Or
has a mental health issue. But it, like, unfolds in such an intense way that's believable and not just random. And I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to get at, but
she has, like, these, like, bursts of anger.
Like, yeah, it's not
like these rage moments. But to me, I'm like, how far gone is she that she doesn't realize, like, 5 minutes later, like, oh my God, I was just completely inappropriate. Like, that was so, like, that's not how you act. And if I want to convince people I'm sane, or she's just like, my mom knows I'm insane and she gets it all.
Yeah. Which, you know, true to, like, our relationships with our moms, right?
Yeah.
Like, my mom sees the worst of me for sure.
I would like my mom to see the best of me, but sometimes she brings out the worst. And then I, like, wind up.
There's that too.
Then I act bratty and I feel bad later.
Same. I've done that. I've totally done that.
Yeah. I appreciate
for
the
my
share.
mom. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. I'm appreciative for your mom.
Oh.
I love Diana.
I like your mom too.
Thank you.
We're both cancers.
So she's like, I want to bring dessert, Andy, for dinner tonight.
Oh, yeah. He's like, get lemon something. Everybody loves lemon something. And I'm like, no, do they, Andy?
How does the whole family love lemon? Now I have questions about your family.
I don't know why I did that voice for him. He doesn't sound like
really,
that.
Andy?
Yeah.
Oh, that one?
No, I'm like, get lemon something.
Well, it's better than like, oh, I'm Andy. My family loves. That's how we usually do, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, my family loves lemons.
Get lemon something. You know, everybody loves that.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. Oh my gosh. We're like, yeah.
So then while she's watching this, Jillian goes like.
I have a good heart, you guys.
She goes into like she goes back into this like dream, and she's wedding planning, and I think she's with her ex. I don't think she's dreaming about her and Andy.
Yeah, no.
It's like, so was she engaged to the other guy?
I don't know, but like it's her and Andy in
the
it
fantasy.
Is? Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't tell. He looked different.
I think he like hit the position of his hair changes all the time in this movie. Like sometimes it's like pushed up, like a picket fence style, like it was popular in the 1990s.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
At least he does different things. Some men just stick with the same thing forever.
George Clooney.
Yeah. When you find something that works for you, though, I feel that you should go with that as well.
Yeah.
So
it's hard when you're a woman because you feel like you got to change it up more. You know, when like major lifestyle events happens, like, oh, new job haircut.
Yeah.
Breakup haircut.
Like, well, no, I'm always changing my hair.
Haircut.
That's why I think I'm crazy.
Oh, see, I only do like major life events.
You really are just like, you have virgin hair, though. Your hair grows so fast, too.
It really does. I am overdue for another haircut.
Are you going to go like with the lob again?
I don't know yet.
It looks really good when you straighten it and when it's curly.
Yeah, I've been embracing the curls a lot more. Sidetrack.
Okay.
Yes.
So Jillian's doing pretty well at the dinner with all the family, which is hard. Those dinners can be, I usually shut down and I'm like, can you please tell your family beforehand that I'm like shy and not a bitch?
I haven't gotten to that part yet. It's been a while, so I can imagine that it feels like anxiety riddled. I feel weird when I meet a friend's parent.
That's what I was going to say. Sometimes it feels even weird just to meet like a friend's parents, let alone this guy that you're like, I'm trying to marry up. And also this family's worth $15 million and they are not aware of that.
Yeah.
And they like, you know, they know when you marry in, you have something to lose.
Yeah.
Like, do you think Prince Harry and Meghan Markle are going to get married?
Maybe. I kind of would like that. I'm not that invested in that narrative, but like it'd be a cute moment. Their kids, I'd be intrigued by what their kids would look like.
I'm surprised Kate Middleton's having a third.
I am too. Considering like how harsh the pregnancies were, but you know, maybe she loves kids. She
also,
loves
like,
having kids.
Why? Because she's royal? Is that what she signed up for?
She might love having kids.
Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I think they're just trying to create a new dynasty because like that family's almost on its way out. So she says she works for an OBGYN, which I thought was interesting that she's sleeping with her boss who's an OBGYN.
Yep.
Like, because then that means that the guy's possibly sexualizing your vagina anytime he goes to your pap smear.
Yeah.
Because he's a pervert.
Yeah, it's weird.
So Andy's mom was like, oh, I've heard of him. I was like, oh, he
that's right.
cured your chlamydia.
What?
So she's like, maybe that's why she's heard of him.
Oh, maybe.
So she says it's her first serious job post-college. Now I'm like, oh, she's really fucking young. Like, this is where it hits me again. And her sister notes that she's pretty high up in the company.
She's like a manager or something like that, business manager.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, well, I take night classes, and I've been doing better and better at work. The sister asks exactly what happened with her mom. Jillian gets quiet. Andy said that she had a heart attack. It's been very strange. I said this was a very strange and insensitive way for her to ask. Like, she's like, so what exactly happened with your mom?
That was kind of bitchy, I thought. I thought if you really were curious, you know, it'd be in a private moment and not in the first time you meet them.
Yeah, and also,
it's also like none of your business. Like, it could be really dark and it's private. Like, I don't know. You know, I'm a very private person.
I'm like,
I felt it was invasive.
Yep, I agree.
The sister was like picking at something.
I thought it was weird and abusive, and I also was like, dude, you have
a power move.
Yeah,
because she's type A.
Yeah,
she's like, so what's really going on? What are your intentions with my brother? That's what that was.
Yeah,
that's what that was. Oh, I see
girl. You. Okay. That 15 million. That's her. That's in her inheritance too. So Jillian's boyfriend suggests. Haircut. Yeah, I know. She's like, right. She's like, I'm ready for you to die, Mom. My hair is already there. I'm already like ready to be 50 years old. So Jillian's boyfriend suggests that they go on a trip to Baltimore that weekend, like a little romantic seafood eating trip.
Which is like, what? Why?
I'm like, what are you going to pound
oysters?
crabs together? Like,
Oysters?
it's crabs, which is the messiest, I think, that, in my opinion, not a great meal to eat.
No, you know what? That's how you know you love someone, that you would eat a messy meal in front of them.
Yeah.
That's true love. That's like, that, right?
He's trying to find out if she's
that,
wifey
and you hear
material.
like Beyonce every time they walk into a room or something.
Or like if you like get really sick and you break your neck and they have to change your diaper.
But that's like, how do you get in that situation to find out that that's true love?
Like you break your neck.
What?
Yeah. And then you're like, hey man, like I'm in a jam. Like my nurse hasn't come over yet. Can you change my diaper? I can't sit in this till noon.
In sickness and in health, right?
Yeah. That's how, like, he's trying to see if she's wifey material. Can you imagine changing an adult's diaper? People do it every day.
Shout out to the people who have to do that because of their loved ones, because of their parents.
Yeah.
Or because they're like professional nurses. Shout out to nurses.
People have to wipe people all the time.
Yeah. Or like husbands to wives who have just gone through a rough pregnancy, or wives to husbands. All the situations is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. We were talking about stitches in our vagina in Palm Springs and how it's like, can you imagine anything worse? And I can't believe I know women that have done that.
Yeah.
I think my own mom had to do that.
Pretty sure my mom had to.
Yeah.
My cousin
we have
had
big
to.
heads. So Jillian's mom wakes up when she gets home and she's like, Andy should come over for dinner sometime. And Jillian's like, a restaurant. I don't want him to see our place until we have someplace nice. She's like, this isn't the impression I want to give.
She did call it a dump several times. She was like, I don't want him to see this dump.
And then we saw the exterior later, and it's really not that bad.
It's not bad at all.
It could be like a trailer.
Girl, you live in a house.
Yeah.
I didn't even get. I have never lived in a house in my entire life.
Well, would she have preferred to bounce around foster care her whole life?
I don't know.
Whatever.
She's trying her best. That's the thing that kills me about this mom, is like she's trying her best.
So she's like, she goes to Jillian's room and she's like, hey, I've been thinking. I'm going back to work in like a couple weeks. Maybe when I do, I can help you get a security deposit for a new place. Which I felt was partially her just wanting Jillian out of the house. But mostly I felt was her just like trying to do anything she could to make Jillian happy.
She was trying to encourage her to like be independent.
Yeah.
She's trying her best, Molly. That's what I'm saying.
And so Jillian gets super violent and she's like, you never wanted me around. You just wanted to adopt Bethany, but you were forced to adopt both of us because they didn't want to split up sisters. And she was like also accusing her mom of wanting the money of renting her room out. And like, I guess that's a point. Maybe the mom wants that income.
She conceded to that. She was like, well, yeah, I thought about that. I've mentioned that in the past.
She's like, I can't afford this place on my own, which makes sense. And
She's
maybe
had a heart attack.
Where isn't Jillian working for a fucking check? Like, where is her money?
It's going to those legal bills, remember?
Oh, right. Damn. I wonder what she owes.
$15,000 or something like that.
Jesus. That's rough. And we don't even know what her total bill is going to be for her behavior yet. So I've been thinking that at this point, Jillian's been beating the shit out of her mom for many years now.
God, this killed me.
Accounting, Jillian Casey.
Oh, hello, Jillian. It's Dottie Young here.
You looked so lovely in
They
that
have the
bus, my dear.
breathiest voices.
It's time to pay up by Friday.
Otherwise, your boss and that super cute boyfriend are gonna have to find
So
out all about your
90s.
bad little habit.
She just did like a
What happened to you?
And then this girl comes up to her and gives her sass.
What do you want?
You know, Jillian, you may feel you're entitled around here because of whatever, but you're not.
Sucking the boss's
Wow,
dick.
Stacey, did you come in here just to tell me
Stacey.
that? Never mind.
Minority
There's
casting
some
here.
guy asking for you at reception.
She just like darted off.
She's so excited. She thinks she's going to get fucked at work.
I need to have a little chat. I thought I'd
It's
share
the
some
ex.
photos from your dirty work.
The Estonian ex.
You do good work, Jill. Stereo shot. Shirts and sheets were wrong.
I was very upset.
Well, now I am too. This one hurts me the most. This is an original Douglas Howell oil painting that my parents left me. It was appraised at $15,000 5 years ago.
You emotionally abused me, and...
Now, I've been thinking how best to handle this situation. You certainly don't want your employer to know. Or your family. Or the police, for that matter. I mean, not with the record that you told me about.
You must have home insurance.
I do. But there's a big deductible. 10 grand. I want you to cover that. And I want the money soon. It's a lot, but you can get it, Jill. You'll find a way.
I don't think I can.
Oh, I know you can. You're a smart girl. You don't want this lapse in judgment to ruin your life. But it could. It very well could. That's why I want you to settle with me. Quickly. We can both get past this, Jillian. But you gotta do the right thing first.
He kind of looks like Peter Skarsgård.
He's like very different than Andy too.
Yeah, she doesn't have a type.
Yeah. Rich.
Yeah, that's her type.
Jillian. What a nice surprise.
Okay. So
in like 2 minutes, she gets shaded by 2 women and blackmailed by 2 people.
I mean, what's crazy is that he even gave her, honestly, I thought the deal was pretty good for what.
He's being pretty reasonable.
I mean, I've known people who have called the cops for much less than that.
Yeah.
And like, I would feel super betrayed. I mean, and also she doesn't even try to deny that it was her, which is the dumbest part.
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. I think he just...
I know, but like, she could still be like, I don't know what that is. Maybe your house got robbed.
Yeah.
I mean,
because I did leave it in the mailbox.
She's not being peak Jillian.
I left the key in the mailbox. Yeah, she's not, because she's caught off guard. She thought she was seeing Andy. It's not Andy.
Yeah.
And then like that woman at work was being terrible to her, and she just got blackmailed and shaded on the phone by that other lady.
And her mom's trying to kick her out.
Yes, she's going through a lot.
Okay.
This just happened. This is like a 3-minute time span, guys. This is how fast this movie moves.
Jillian's on fire. So Jillian waits for her boss back in the office. She's like, I need a big favor. She's like, I need this money by next week. And the doctor says, you know what? My wife is leaving town tomorrow. We'll get that suite at that hotel.
Harris.
You know what I'm saying? And he's like,
it's the jacuzzi that you like.
He's like, it's becoming very clear that in order to make the arrangement work, Jillian like needs to die. Oh, this was supposed to say needs to give her boss some more attention. God, autocorrect.
Needs to die?
She needs to die. That's what it says. Jillian needs to die her boss some more attention. So,
that was your subconscious and your conscious.
I was thinking kill him, maybe. Yeah. But she needs to like fuck this guy. So she's like, I want to meet you at the hotel early at like 5 p.m. Which he said in a way that like made it seem like they were meeting up at 3 a.m. previously.
It's so weird.
Okay. I mean, I was like, okay. So Jillian goes into Dottie's boutique and she gives her some money and she's like, it's all I can afford. And she's like, this isn't even like a quarter of the blouse. This is nothing. And Jillian says that if she bothers her or her boyfriend or her boss again, she will burn that place to the ground while she's still inside of it. And then on her way out, she steals some matching lingerie for her big weekend with her boss.
Yeah.
I mean, Jillian.
And the woman's just like, you're crazy. She's like, yeah.
I mean, can you return a blouse because all of the buttons fell off?
I bet you people have tried.
Yeah.
I actually have only returned 2 pieces of clothing in my life because just like...
What do you do with them normally?
I just like either live with the fact that I bought them.
Okay.
And hold on to them forever and never wear them.
Yeah.
Or donate them.
Do you try on before you...
Yep, always. That's why I don't really do online shopping.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like I have to know how it looks on me.
I know what silhouettes work on me now and they're limited, and so I only buy those. And I know I'm usually like, if it's like a small, medium, large, I know which one I'm usually at, and it never really changes.
But that's why I only really shop for clothes once a season, because that's a spiral. Like, You know what I mean? Just like trying on so many clothes and like you try things that don't work and you're like, oh yes, this accentuates all the bad things I try to forget about when I buy the clothes in the first place.
I try to shop for summer and winter and summer and get all those sales.
Yes.
You
that's
know?
smart. Yeah.
Just a tip from me, malls. So I don't know like how she thinks also Dottie's not going to repeat this to anyone.
I know, it's so bizarre.
There's so many people she can tell about this.
That's all we see of Dottie, though. That's the thing. It's just forget this storyline entirely because nobody gives a shit about this anymore.
Yeah, I wish she fucked her husband.
It doesn't matter. This was just for you.
Yeah.
This is just for the audience. Like, it paid nothing into the plot of the main movie except that she was acting weird with the boyfriend at the beginning.
A retail scene is always fun. I love retail scenes in movies.
I only like it if there's a montage.
Yeah, of course. Well, duh, of course.
Only if there's a montage. A la Pretty Woman, a la some other teenage girl movie.
There's a ton of. I mean,
I can't think of any right now.
Clueless has the best one. So Jillian says that
send us your favorite retail montage moments,
dude. Yeah, tag us on Facebook. Go to the 8 Inches Uncut Facebook group. I'm also getting a lot of movie suggestions from there right now.
Oh, so. Romy and Michelle probably had one, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
when they were doing all their different reunion outfits.
Yeah.
So Jillian says to Andy she can't go away for the weekend anymore. She has to go to New York with her mom to visit some relatives.
This web that pay attention to every location she mentions because Jillian's weaving a web of deceit and lies.
I wish I knew they were in Philly because now the locations make so much more sense.
I know.
So then Jillian tells her mom that she's leaving for the weekend. Jillian's mom's like, hey, man, I just want you to be happy. And Jillian's like, I've been dragged around by you my whole life only to wind up in this dump that you live in. It's like, dude, like, why do you have to burn her on the way out the door? Like, you're going away for the weekend just to sit here with that?
Yeah.
It's mean.
That's wild.
Don't be mean.
No. She's so mean. It kills me.
Yeah. Well, that's why I think she's a sociopath. So
is that what you're diagnosing her with?
Yeah, and that actually reminds me of something. Yeah.
Are you playing armchair psychiatrist?
So wait a minute. So everything we say is speculation. Also, these people are fictional.
Also, like, let's just, like, the cognitive dissonance that we have to have. Like, nobody's coming to a Lifetime movie for accurate material of anything.
So the
right?
one plot, yes, exactly right. This brings me back to my IMDb thing I told you about at the beginning. The one plot keyword for this movie is bipolar disorder. Okay. And I'm like, she does not have bipolar.
That's interesting because when I Googled the title of this movie, one of the things I came up was a bipolar disorder blog that like reviewed it about how offensive it was to bipolar people.
I don't know anyone bipolar who acts like that. Bipolar, that must have been like a very nuanced bipolar 2 mixed with borderline personality disorder or something. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it seems more like she's a sociopath. Like, this is not a depiction of bipolar disorder at all.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what an accurate portrayal of one would look like.
And I will say that the manic highs and the manic lows would be, and the depressive lows would be much more nuanced than they are here. Like, you would see it just seems like she switches on a dime. And that's not what bipolar is.
Yeah.
From what I understand, bipolar 1 or 2. And then the mom kind of says something about like, yeah, well, when she's on her highs, she's on her highs. But when she's on her lows, she's really on her lows.
Yeah.
And that might have been an indication of bipolar, but
that tipped me off to something, but I don't, yeah, you're right. I don't know what she turns so quickly. I don't know what that would be. Because in Fatal Attraction, Glenn Close had borderline personality disorder.
Yeah.
Do you think that fits here?
I haven't seen Fatal Attraction.
But are you familiar with borderline personality disorder?
Oh, yeah. No, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. She might even have multiple personalities.
There's speculation as to whether or not that's a real condition, right?
Really?
Yeah. I thought I was reading something about that.
That's very interesting. I had no idea. I totally believe it when I see it.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, oh, yeah, you're traumatized. Your brain breaks into 15 pieces.
I would guess so, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway.
Sorry, we just went down another tangent.
So Heather and Andy are talking at the office. They're like, guys' weekend. Jillian's in New York. He's like, I forgot my phone at the office. Fuck.
I know in this day and age, like I think everyone would have gone back to get their phones, right?
Literally no one would have not gone back to get the phone. He like never went back to the office. He's like, oh, I just don't need my phone at all this
for the weekend. Yeah.
And it was 2014, and also Andy's the vice president of a company. Like you need your phone.
A digital company they specialize in digital marketing.
I mean,
it's wild.
And that's a 24-hour job. FYI.
Yes. Why is he leaving his phone? It's so bizarre.
So
he's hanging out with his bro that looks like Brian Luttrell from Backstreet Boys.
His bro was such a bro. Like, such a bro.
They
dog.
did a fist bump in the car.
He's like, oh, you're pussy whipped. I mean, he didn't say that, but he basically said that. He's like, we're doing guys night and you're fucking pussy whipped. So Heather tells her mom, we cut to another scene. Heather's like telling her mom she'll be over to meet up with you and the other client later. I just need to do a meeting downtown first at this hotel property.
Yep.
So Jillian calls Andy from her car. She's like, I'm on the turnpike to New York. I just want to say I'll miss you.
Planting that seed. So she's telling Andy she's going to be in New York.
Reminder.
Put a pin in that, guys.
Yeah.
Put a pin in that, guys.
So Bethany and her mom sit at the house. Her mom said she can't let Jillian browbeat her anymore. She's like, I've offered to help her find a place on her own, but she jumped on her. She like pinned me to the wall. Bethany's like, I wish I could help, which again leads me to believe she read that Dr. Laura book because her husband wants nothing to do with this like sister at all. And she's like, I agree. She's toxic to our family.
Yeah, I really want to know what she did.
I wonder if like she voted for Trump, Bethany.
That's so funny that you wrote that because I wonder if Scott's a men's rights activist.
Wait, which one's Scott?
Scott's the brother-in-law.
Oh, I don't think he's a women's rights activist.
No, I said I wonder if he's a men's rights activist.
Oh, he might be actually. Yeah,
like,
he also
there's
has
one that he's like looking at the computer. I'm like, he's probably on Reddit looking at men's rights activist boards.
Well, he looked like one of those Nazi pitchfork bros a little bit, like in his polo shirt and that haircut. I was just like, where have you come from? Except everywhere. Like those guys are everywhere. So, Bethany's like, I wish I could help, but I'm gonna have a really serious talk with her when she gets home. She really needs some serious help. And I'm like, Bethany, welcome to the situation. Like your mom literally was seconds away from dying, and Jillian wouldn't call her like 911 thing.
Did she not tell Bethany that? Like, did they not have a discussion about that when she woke? She was like, Bethany, I need to tell you something. She did not pick up the phone.
Which means that maybe they cut out a full 90 fucking seconds, like while I was seizing and being like, call the police. And I guess you could say she froze in the moment. Some people freeze.
Yeah.
People die because other people freeze.
Yeah, no, it's true. It happens. You never know how you're going to react in a trauma. I'd like to think I'm like cool, calm, and collected, and I'm going to like be the first person to like put the gauze on the wound or something like that.
Just like action. Like, what do we got to do?
But I feel like I might be flight. And then I have to live with that for the rest of my life.
So listen to this, just to bring it back to Dr. Laura, my favorite person.
Okay.
One day, like a 19-year-old boy called and he was like, hey, I'm going to my sophomore year of college and I'm just feeling really bad because I've had this great summer. And last year, my roommate died. We were having like a little party in the room. The other guys were drinking. I wasn't. And my roommate had something that had a peanut in it, and he went to like anaphylactic shock or whatever. And he knew where the EpiPen was, but he froze in the moment and he couldn't get it, and his roommate died. And he's like, Dr. Laura, how do I get past this? Like, how do I like get rid of the guilt? She's like, you should have the guilt. She's like, he could have lived and you didn't act in the moment. And she's like, I was like, damn. But like, he's only 19. He can't hear that.
I know, but I don't know. It's true, but it's also harsh. It's harsh. Yeah. I don't know, dude. I'm stuck on this one.
I mean, like,
I'm also like a lapsed Catholic, so guilt is like, I know that very well. It's a comfort. It's almost comforting at this point.
I mean, I think he's going. I think that what she should have said is like, you're going to feel guilt. Like, you couldn't react in a trauma, and you're going to feel guilt, and you just need to accept that because there's a reason why you should feel guilty.
Yeah. You need to feel that pain.
I mean, an EpiPen, man. We were saying this yesterday on Please Advise. Like, get rid of people who have allergies.
No, I didn't. You were saying that on Please Advise. Don't
If you just need to take a Zyrtec, that's fine.
I'm cool with people who have nut allergies.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I don't even love with someone who has allergies. So Heather starts to pitch the dude she's meeting with like an idea, and he's like completely going for it. Like this family is just, they kill every presentation.
Yeah, they do.
And we see the doctor, Jillian's boss, is checking in. So then Andy's sister sees her making out with her boss by the elevator.
Wait. Does Jillian lock eyes with her or does she not? Because her reaction was just like so slow, and it was like almost a non-reaction.
I don't think they locked eyes. I think she saw her, and then Heather saw her. Then she looked forward. Then Jillian saw Heather and was like, "Fuck!" And then that's why she goes back downstairs later. Spoiler alert.
Okay,
right?
I think so. Yes.
Like it wasn't an acknowledgement. And there was one thing that Heather had said to the hotel manager. She's like,
"Oh yeah,
wow." I just saw the last person I thought I'd ever see. He's like, we get that a lot here. I'm like, okay.
It's so wild.
What does that even mean? It seems like mostly a corporate hotel.
Yeah.
This isn't where you take your hoe.
They don't have an hourly rate.
No, honey, no. That's like $500 a night.
Yeah. Somewhere in Philadelphia.
So I forgot that they go by the gift shop first. And I'm kind of wondering what Jillian's buying in the gift shop.
I don't know. I don't know if he was the one who was buying stuff, right?
No, she was in there and then he went and met her in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe she was just like, I just want to look.
So she gets intercepted by Jillian, but when Heather, before she leaves the building, but she's already left a message for Andy. And she asked Jillian like flat out, like, are you a hooker? Which I loved.
You know what? And I thought she should have leaned into this lie.
And been like, yeah.
I have to do what I have to do to like, because she kind of says that at some point. I have to do what to help my mother.
She's like, oh, I'm not rich like you. I don't have a job. Yeah. Let's play this audio, actually.
It's a quick movie, by the way.
It is a little breezy.
Wait, okay, listen, I can explain.
Jillian, there's nothing you could say.
Just listen to me. Let's talk about this.
Fine. Okay. Say what you have to say. But you know I'm going to tell Andy.
No, Heather. Don't do that.
Aren't you supposed to be in New York, not seeing some guy here?
That man is my boss.
Your boss?
The doctor. Yeah, he's making me do
Heather's haircut is like the mom from Home Improvement in the last season.
Oh my God. And her hair was always dry like that too.
If I lose that job, I have nothing.
Listen, if it's sexual harassment, that's one thing. But if you're sleeping with him for money...
I'll stop. He won't care. He's married. If he fires me, I'll sue. Here, you come watch. Come see. I'll show you.
I can't do that, Jillian.
Heather!
Oh, God.
No, it's okay. I'll fix it.
It's Andy's decision.
Well, then let me tell Andy.
Here's a weird thing. Like, they, like, swap places a lot on this, like, ledge.
The blocking is wild. Because it's like, we know what's going to happen.
You don't understand life. Maybe you're still learning what's acceptable and what isn't.
Your life
they
is so
switch
easy
places just now. They just switch places.
It's a weird dance. It's like a dance off.
For anyone.
Get out of my way.
No, you can't take Andy from me.
Now they switch places again.
It's also the camera dramatically switches back and forth to each of their takes every time.
I hate a rolling down the stairs moment.
Okay, I hate that they think 6 steps like that can kill you because I have fallen down so many like actual literal flights of stairs.
No.
Like when I was a kid, my cousin James pushed me down 15 stairs once. And I was like, fine, my butt just hurt. My tailbone.
For some reason, that's like a huge fear of mine for people in my life. Not me. I'm not afraid of the stairs.
Oh, like a pregnant person or something?
Yeah, or like my mom or something like that. Like,
I hate hearing that an old person slipped downstairs. That really makes me sad.
Sorry, I didn't mean to bum out everybody on the podcast.
No, like when Bob Dole fell off that stage, I know everyone hated Bob Dole, but it was still sad. It was sad.
So the sister falls down the stairs.
And she's fucking dead, dude.
See, that's the thing. I didn't think she was dead, even when the janitor comes and finds the body, because he's so casual about it. He's like, he walks down the stairs and he's like, oh. And then that's it.
But the other thing, well, here's the other thing is that, like, when you fall down the stairs like that, like, you go for the railing. Like, you use your arms. You use your arm. Like, I was like, is she shit-faced? Like, why isn't she reaching for something? Like, you're tall. Like, you are taller than the stairs.
just reach up and you can grab a pole and stop the fall.
Maybe she hit her head on the first, like, boom.
Oh, yeah. And also, it's just, that's an easy way to kill someone in a movie that's not, like, super violent, but it kills them.
Yeah.
Like the staircase, which is not fictional.
And she clearly pushed the sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, she, like, that was, like, The Good Son?
Oh. Yeah. That movie. Ooh.
That one was intense.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin was really good in that movie.
Macaulay Culkin's hot again. Have you seen?
Yes, yeah.
So cool.
Is that your type, Molly?
Yeah.
Macaulay Culkin type?
Yeah. So wait, I don't know what she thinks the plan is from here. Like I'm like, I would immediately go into action and run out of there and be like, help, my friend fell. Like and I would also have called, if I was Jillian, I would have called into Andy's voicemail and see if there was a message. Like I would have guessed the pin. You know?
How would you have guessed the pin? Have you done?
I feel like
said that like you've done that before.
Well, if I was her, I would be paying attention when he signs into things. But I don't do that to like in real life. But like,
if you were her,
if I was Jillian and I was that calculated, I would know what his.
That's the thing about Jillian. She's not calculated. Everything she does is impulsive. She's not a calculated killer.
Oh my God.
She's an impulsive person. Everything that drives this plot is from her impulsiveness.
I completely missed that part of the movie.
That's why it's not as good as like other types of these movies, because she's not being calculated.
Yeah.
Calculated. Like they always have an alternative motive in the beginning.
Oh, Kristina. You just blew my mind. I never thought of it like that. I thought like she was way more oh my God.
It came into me just now.
Oh my God. You're possessed by good ideas. You're possessed.
Sometimes, when I get in a zone like this is like, yes.
Yeah.
Why can't I be like this all the time?
So Jillian goes up to the room. She's like, I really need a drink. And he's like, the champagne is on the way. She's like, how about I have a vodka with lots of ice while I wait? Which I was like, why lots of ice?
She's trying to water it down.
I guess because she wants to be sober and like kill him in his sleep.
Yeah, because she's like plowing him with champagne. She's like, let's get more champagne. He's like, I'm already kind of drunk. I think you're trying to make me drunk. And she's like, no, you're crazy. And then they get more champagne and then she like serves him. She drugs him.
That guy looks like a weathered alcoholic, though. Like, I didn't understand how whenever he drinks champagne, he's like, I'm going to get buzzed.
He also looks like a weatherman, like an old weatherman that's, like, been out in the sun too long.
Exactly. That man has seen some shit. He's drank too many Bud Lights on a boat. Like, that man
in Florida. For sure in Florida.
It is, like, 21-year-old girls who are like, ooh, this champagne is making me tipsy. Like, most adults are just like, it's too much sugar. Like, I'm not going to get wasted. I'll get hungover tomorrow. He's the doctor. Yeah. He should know this. So Jillian goes into the bathroom and she sends a text that says, miss you so much. Love, G.
Yeah.
She signs a text in 2014.
My mom used to do that up until last year. Like,
it's really cute.
Mom, it's fine.
My mom does hi, honey, comma, and then the rest. She doesn't sign it, though.
Here's the thing that I'm like, this is another kind of sad thing. I finally got my mom to stop leaving me voicemails to call her back.
Yeah.
But now I miss them.
Did you save some?
I did.
That's good. Save those forever and you'll be fine. That's all you need. Just listen to that.
I kind of want to encourage her to start leaving me voicemails like, call me back. Love you.
Tell her that you take it back.
Yeah.
Or to call your Google Voice.
Yeah.
So we're at Collins Marketing, and Heather's mom said that Heather has been talking to her about something interesting, sales support. And the client is like, okay, like, I understand that you know nothing about this business and you're smart because you got your kids to run it.
Yeah.
And then Andy
says... kind of a dick.
Oh, word.
This is one of several dickish things he says during this conversation with the mom. And she's like, I'm trying to find my daughter. And he just goes, well, she's going to show up when the food comes. She always does.
Right. Oh my God, she calling her fat?
I think so.
They do shit like that in these Lifetime movies where they just like low-key shade the fuck out of the way women treat each other. And it's like, this is television for women because this is the language that women speak that no one else hears, which is like, I'm calling you fat. Like the businessman didn't know that. And Heather wasn't even there. That was just for her own benefit. So Heather's body is discovered, and Jillian is back in the hotel room wanting more champagne. Mm-hmm. And then boss is like, we should go to the Asian place down the street. And I was like, Asian food in whatever part of the country they're in. Like, I don't know if I trust it.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, now I know it's Philadelphia. At the time, I thought it was like...
Canada?
I know, like Virginia. And I was like, oh, like when people got sushi in Tennessee when we went for Bonnaroo with Hello Giggles. And I was like, y'all are gross. Like, that is like, when did this fish come here?
Yeah.
I wouldn't eat one if it came directly out of the ocean and like died in front of me and then jumped into my mouth post-mortem. I wouldn't feel it was fresh enough. I'd be like, there's something on you.
What? So you don't eat sushi? I'm confused.
I don't eat sushi.
Because?
I just can't trust a fish that much.
Because it's raw?
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't trust a fish that much. Like, I don't
you're
even
worried,
like...
You're worried that you're going to get food poisoning?
I like oysters. No, I just like, I'm like, I don't trust that you taste good. I don't know what you did with your life. Like, I just don't like sushi, like, because I don't know. I can't relate to it.
Okay.
But I like oysters because they're like private and they're in their little shell and then they come out of the ocean and they're ready to be eaten.
Is it like a skin thing? Like, because they have scales.
The seaweed doesn't help. I usually replace it with soy paper. That's why, I mean, I try with sushi. I've lied on dates. I've like choked down pieces of food and been like, yeah, no, I like love sushi. And then like I've drank too much because I also have no food in my stomach. And then I've like hooked up with a guy because I don't like sushi and I can't just say that.
Okay. It's okay to not like sushi, Molly.
I feel uncultured. I'm embarrassed.
No, it's okay.
Just
really say that you've had a bad experience and people will get it.
But I didn't. That's a Jillian lie.
I don't think that's a Jillian level lie. I think that's a little white lie.
That's the kind of shit she'd pull. She'd be like,
well, that's the kind of shit I do sometimes.
My parents died in a sushi restaurant. I can't have sushi.
I meant that like you had a bad piece. Like you had a bad like.
Well, then the guy's going to picture you shitting yourself.
People sympathize or puking, but yeah.
I guess.
I mean, if that's where your mind goes, then I don't know. I guess choke down the pieces of sushi, but it seems like a lot.
It's why I'm single. So, okay. She's like, I want to stay in the hotel. It'll be more fun. Jillian looks out the window and sees the police cars coming up. She goes into the bathroom and she crushes up a couple pills and she pours the powder back into the pill bottle, which I was just like,
I wondered about that too.
What made you think about this? Yeah. I thought at first I was like, is she about to blow like sleeping pills? Like I didn't know what she was about to do.
Yeah, I thought they were for her maybe. And then I was like, oh, this is going to get kicked up a notch. She's going to take these drugs and then she's going to flip the fuck out. And it never happened.
Nope. And that would have been
the other thing that it was missing. It needed another flip the fuck out moment.
It would have been, that would have also kind of caressed that bipolar situation into this shit. Like that would have been like, okay, so you're making impulsive decisions. Mm-hmm. Like she does make impulsive decisions, but we also need something like she spends too much money.
Yeah.
Or like, we'll just randomly do drugs for no reason or like whatever.
Listen to jazz.
Yeah.
Like, what is that show? Do you know into Homeland?
Sex and the City?
Like Homeland.
Oh, no, that guy had ADD on Sex and the Jazz.
It's also jazz. Yeah, I hate that episode.
I do. Actually, I do too.
It's the weirdest one. It's horrible.
I kind of liked it at the time.
I was just being played like an instrument. Like, come on, Carrie.
Yeah, and I'm also like, you've been dating this like psycho sex addict for 3 weeks and you don't figure it out until like you guys try to bake a pie together or something.
It did make me question whether or not I would date someone who was into jazz that much.
I mean, he was a jazz musician. They were basically saying like he can only do what he does for a living because jazz is like a never-ending stream of changes and like this guy can't even pay attention to a beat for more than 5 seconds. Anyway.
Steve Bilko, was that the guy's name?
Whoa, I don't know. But he was her boyfriend for like, was it 2 episodes?
Yeah, it was 2 episodes. It was a 2-parter like that. That's the storyline that was launched during those episodes only lasted those 2 episodes.
Was that
those
like
2
end
episodes?
Of season?
I don't remember. I can't remember because I watch them in a marathon usually, and I don't keep track of seasons like that.
Yeah, I feel you.
That and the bisexual episode are the 3 worst episodes.
So the police like called Andy's mom like, oh wait, no, Andy's mom calls Heather and she doesn't answer. Sorry. And then Jillian's putting the crush pills into the doctor's glass of champagne. And then we see Heather is officially dead. The coroner's on his way. The detective takes her purse to look through it, and he calls her mom on the phone. And he doesn't tell her why she needs to come down to the hotel, which I thought was like...
I was like, is that standard procedure? I was confused.
That does not seem standard. Like,
would they tell her that the daughter was dead?
They might say, like, ma'am, like, or they'd go to her and they'd go talk to her about it. And they would have had the body already at the coroner's office. Like, they wouldn't be, like, wheeling the body out all those hours later. I guess it was an official crime scene, so they needed to do, like...
Yeah.
Dusting for prints or whatever. But, like, yeah, I don't know. Dude, I've been watching Law & Order SVU again lately, and, like, the medical examiner is the best character.
Oh, Miranda?
Yeah.
I love Miranda.
She's the best character.
They have a couple episodes. I always love the episodes where they dive into her life. Remember when she got shot in that bank?
Yep.
What do you think her narrative is? That she's like been happily married for 30 years? Or that maybe she's lesbian?
I think she's the lesbian.
That's what I thought too.
I've always felt, I mean, you know, maybe she just has a masculine energy and chooses to be single, but I see her as a lesbian.
My favorite thing was that she always got real with Olivia. She was like, there was a couple times where she was like, you know, you need to get tested. Like when she had an AIDS scare or something like that. And she was the only one that was like really on Olivia about that. I felt like her and Olivia shared a sisterhood that wasn't explored enough.
And Olivia is at least
and is probably the that's like a whole nother podcast right there.
We can do that podcast. We'll do a Please Advise special.
I'm sure there's tons of fanfic online about that.
We could just read fanfic.
No, I don't think I want to go down that rabbit hole.
But yeah, I think they like tell you like over the I don't know, whatever. So Andy texts her to say, he texts Jillian to be like, I forgot my phone. I'm texting you from my friend's phone. Are you having fun? And then Andy's mom calls his friend's phone and she said that there's something wrong at the hotel, that she's on her way to meet the cops. We're already like towards the end.
I'm telling you, it's a breezy movie. It's insane. The pace of this movie is crazy, you guys.
But like, I did not feel that way. Like, but I guess maybe I missed things too. Like, it does make it go faster once you catch those flashbacks. It seems like you're working overtime until then.
Yeah, and I should drive you. Come on.
You guys were out drinking and driving?
Yeah.
We're not sure what happened.
It's Pennsylvania.
But she fell down the stairs and she suffered a broken neck.
Where is she now?
We're just waiting for the coroner to come and pick up her body. They'll need 4 or 5 days for the autopsy.
This is tough. She just lost a husband.
I know.
Miss Collins, I don't think that's a good idea.
I want to see my daughter now.
I understand.
I don't know what accent this cop is trying to pull off.
Is it Philly?
Maybe.
So Jillian's getting
those Johns.
Really
pick
quickly.
up your Johns and let's go.
Johns.
Johns.
So she just got ready really quick in the hotel room. She's trying to pull herself together.
Hey, Jillian.
Is everything okay?
Heather's had some kind of accident at the hotel. We're gonna meet my mother there now.
Oh no, what kind of accident?
So breathy.
Yeah, but we're getting close to the hotel, so I'll give you a call after we're done, okay?
Andy, as soon as you know anything, please call me.
Andy's like a Philadelphia 11.
He's hot. He's really hot.
His button-ups are really tight. He has a good body.
Is there something you need from me? With my card.
Mom!
I feel like the cop's hitting on the mom a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What's going on?
He's like, I can get inside you as well. Hit me up, girl.
I'm surprised that they're not more of a mess. but maybe because they're is this how like wasps react? Is this emotional for wasps?
Like, this is what it is that maybe because they are so inappropriate the way they handle the news and the way that they tell each other about the death. Like, she's gone. She's gone. Like, I'd be like, oh, she's gone to like Rome for a week. Like, I wouldn't know what that means. And they're at the hotel. Her body's still there.
Okay.
It's weird.
Did Heather say who the person was? No, just that she recognized him. Or her. Yeah, I really have no idea.
Okay. Heather's in the bathroom. She's texting.
She's doing a lot in the bathroom.
Dude, she loves the bathroom. And to be honest, as a girl, like at a hotel room, I love the bathroom too.
She has a lot of bathroom moments in this movie, though. It's like where she goes to be like her most self.
And like, I think guys, this is like, she's the kind of girl that like a guy is just like, oh, she takes 2 hours to get ready. That's normal.
Yeah.
Whereas like every guy I've dated is like, wow, you take like 15 minutes to get ready. And on the rare occasion I take 30, they're like, dude, what the fuck's going on in there? It's important as a girl that you establish your bathroom time early into a relationship. And she's done that with the doctor. The doctor's like, oh, she's probably in there like shaving her vagina before we have sex. That's what he's probably thinking. God. Yeah. He's probably thinking that.
No, she would have taken care of that. Jillian would have taken care of that.
She was working at the office all day.
Do you think he's also her GYN?
Yeah. I mean, I bet like she's STD free, and that's like another reason why he phones her, because he's like tested her. So Jillian gets a text while she's doing her makeup in the bathroom. It says, "Meet us back at Susan's house, Ben." She says there's no traffic and she should be there soon. So she allegedly is driving back from New York.
That's a 2-hour drive.
Okay, that's not that bad. I was wondering when I thought it was Virginia. I was like, girl, like I was like, they're like if these people know math right now, you lying.
Yeah.
They didn't even want her there. So Heather goes to see Andy. Andy's like, oh, you didn't need to
She's
drive
being
back.
so clingy in the moment that like, okay, so I, again, have never been at a point where someone I am dating has had a loved one who has died. But like, immediately after,
it's not about you.
No, but I'm saying like immediately
No.
after, it's like, do you hang out with them while the family's grieving, or do you just like give them their time alone?
I mean, I think that like the best way to describe it is it's insulting to tell someone whose sister just died that like you're like, I really loved her, and it's like no one cares that you loved her because you met her once and they ate lemon meringue together.
Yeah,
no one cares about that. People care about,
I need to be with you. She said that to him.
She's such a cunt.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, she is. She is. Or as Ronnie Karam would say, a cut fitness.
Cut fitness.
She's such a cut fitness. But she's being very clean. He's like, you didn't need to drive back, which I felt like, dude, Ben, like, why didn't you check that with your boy? Like 2 hours ago, you were calling him pussy whipped. And now you're like, oh, your girlfriend of 6 weeks should come over right after your sister has died.
Yep.
And they had like given the mom a sedative. Like she was like Jean Bonnet. Like it was very like, it was very Heather Jean Bonnet. So Jillian's like, I need to be with you. He's like, go home, Jillian.
She gets like real breathy. It's so weird. Just, I need to be with you.
He's like, my mom may need me. And I'm also like, get some balls, loser.
He's too sweet.
At least Steven, is that the brother-in-law? Scott. At least Scott would be like, who cares if your mother needs you, okay? This is our new nuclear family. We read that Dr. Laura book together. You're fucking owning up to it.
They probably went to couples therapy and he was like, you need to establish boundaries with your family, Bethany.
Yeah, he like poisoned the therapist emotionally and like she never stood up for her. That's like why couples therapy freaks me out. Because some people could just be manipulative. I mean, like Jillian. So Jillian comes back. There's a note in her bed in the hotel room that says, emergency, had to run, see you at the office Monday, Harris. And she reads it out loud to herself. in her Paris Hilton regular voice. So she's not doing the breathy thing.
Yeah.
It's like it's her real voice. Scary. And also, if I was her, I'd be smart enough. She's not smart. She's not smart.
That's what I said.
You're right. I thought I was giving her so much credit.
Yeah.
But Jillian's not smart.
No, but like Andy is also like, he's obviously letting his little head think if he's calling Jillian smart.
You're right. Now you're bringing it back to the dinner. You're so right. He has been defending her intelligence. Jesus Christ.
The whole time.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to convince himself.
And if she's like, Jillian's his executive assistant. Like, if there was something going on that was like a big deal, she would know about it. Like, if he has to leave for an emergency in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
What is it? Like, your kid's esophagus collapsed, or like you are fixing a vagina like that exploded, or what?
Vagina that exploded.
Yeah.
No, it's just that, and I think he's trying to justify to himself that he's trying to make, I think because he's so physically attracted to Jillian, he's trying to make up for her shortcomings intellectually by like trying to convince himself that she is smart.
Yeah. Well, because when you first date someone and they tell you they did this and you tell them, and like you're just like, oh, those are things smart people do.
Yeah.
It takes sometimes a while to realize that you're dating a complete moron.
Does it?
So Andy goes into work on Monday and checks his voicemails, and he gets the one from his sister saying that she saw Heather at the hotel the night before, or Jillian at the hotel the night before. And then he gets Jillian's message saying she's on the turnpike. That was right before that.
Yeah.
So he's like, this can't make sense. And he's right.
Yeah.
Like, I can't believe this is when he it's like, Andy, you should have brought your phone with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's why we go back and get our phones. Like, don't call us like a dependent generation on our technology.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get framed for a murder.
Yeah. I'm also just like, I like being super responsive to people. I don't know. You never know who's going to need you any moment. I don't know.
It's true life.
Yeah.
I answer the phone. If I look at that and that's one of my friends, I answer that. Who just calls people unless they're like, I'm in jail? That's my big fear. If I have one call and the person isn't the type of person who answers the phone.
Oh yeah, I only call you when it's like serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, and do the police let you call from your cell phone, or are you just supposed to know someone's number by heart?
Yeah, I think you're just supposed to know someone's number by heart.
Well, the only person I know is my mom, and she's
please.
going to leave me in jail for 3 days because she doesn't check her shit.
Yeah, that's the only person I know. You too is my mom's.
I'm sad.
And I'm the
about
only
that.
one that my mom knows is mine.
Yeah. So he hears the message about Jillian getting on the turnpike. He's like, what?
So yeah, this is when he starts piecing it the fuck together.
He's like, oh, I might be dating a psycho. And I'm like,
yes. The answer is yes. Might be.
I mean, here's my thing.
Tell me your
the
thing.
night before, when she's like, I need you, after the sister died, I'd be like, wait a minute. Like, I wouldn't even need to hear the voicemail.
Yeah.
I'd already be like, so Andy, wake the fuck up, dude. Don't be naive. Watch the Drew Peterson Lifetime movie. You can't fucking trust anyone.
This is when he tries to wake up.
He does wake up, but it's like a day late, a buck short. And it's like, you know what? Maybe you've lived a charmed life. But Kristina, can we talk about the like realest thing you ever said to me that like taught me that you can't trust humans?
What? That I can't trust humans, or we can't trust humans?
We.
But also, yes, I.
So I was like, girl, you know, I've like, you know, out of every guy I've ever hooked up with, only 2 have told me they have herpes. You were like, yeah, 2 that were being honest. And I was like, oh my God. It's like never even occurred to me someone might lie about having an STD.
Yeah, I just kind of prepare for the worst and hope for the best. That's just like how I approach life. So
Yeah.
like, people probably lie.
Do you
But
feel
it's
like you're having a blast though?
What? Yes, I am.
You're having a blast.
I'm having a blast.
Yeah. I just like sometimes don't think that my version of the worst is like pretty tame. Like in my mind, I don't go to like this person could be like an international serial killer.
You know what it is? It's because I've lived with a lot of like crazy truths in my lifetime. Like,
True.
I have a family member that had a mistress for 20 years.
Yeah.
And I saw that whole thing unfold.
I had to tell you, can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You're my best friend. Like, you never talk about your life.
Yeah.
Like, I literally fucking love that this is like one of the things in your life that you are willing to talk about. And every time you bring it up, it makes me so happy because one, when you first told me about it, I was like, every family has something. Like, I was shook. I was literally fucking shook. And then you'd update me and it would be worse and worse every time you updated me. And like, I love that this is one of the things you're willing to talk about.
Listen, it's fine. I don't think they listen to anything I do. It's fine. But yes, so that happened. And like, I've known other people that have come in my mom's life that like, you know, he had a mistress also for 20 years. That was actually his ex-girlfriend that he had been seeing. And like,
your mom talked about that on Please Advise.
Yeah, she did. And secret siblings. I've seen like, a friend went to high school and like the way that she found out that she had a half sister was like some guy went to summer school with the sister and she was like, yeah, she looks exactly like you. And she had to go to her parents that day and be like, hey, this guy, and they're like, actually, it's true that they're like 6 months apart in age. And that's how she found out she had a half sister.
That's fucked. Like, that's literally so fucked. And the fact that she had to like go do investigative reporting as a teenager.
It's wild.
Here's my question. Do you think Khloe was the last of the Kardashian sisters to know that she was not the biological daughter of Robert?
You think that's true?
Yeah. Yeah.
Doesn't she look like the grandmother or something, supposedly? Or is that something that they want to just...
She looks a lot like that hairdresser.
That
which I was like, Chris, you fucked him? I was like, damn, like, you're a personality girl. I guess. But like, don't trust anyone. That's the bottom line.
That is something that my grandmother tells me all the time when I talk to her on the phone. It's just like, okay, I pray for you. Don't trust nobody. I'll talk to you later. Bye. That's how she says goodbye to me.
Wow. That's like such opposite messaging in my family. It's like, well, in my family, it's like, don't you be a liar. Ooh. And so I never hear like, oh, other people could lie. Like, I'm always, when they're like, okay, be honest, just make sure you're being honest and a great person, blah, 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 and polite manners and blah, blah, blah. They don't ever say like, watch out for the people who don't do that because they might be there to fuck you over.
Yeah.
Fuck.
That is also probably why I'm so boundaried, though.
Yeah, and that's why I'm so like, I'm just trying not to fuck up, man.
Yeah.
Don't hurt my feelings. My feelings were hurt. Very recently.
But you've also had a lot of good experiences from living your life openly like that, from like having your open heart like that.
Well, you were the girl that I met online. You were you came to my 25th birthday party.
That's true.
Because you met my friend Slippy at a Tumblr meetup.
That's true.
That's why I picked this movie, because I was like, we're girls who met online.
We're the girls who met online.
So Andy goes to Bethany,
a different Lifetime movie,
to talk to her, but he runs into the brother-in-law. And I thought this is where the brother-in-law was going to like drop the heat and be like, about.
Yeah, and he doesn't, but he does lay the law. He's like, yeah, she's probably lying to you, bruh. He's like over it.
I was thinking maybe she shot the family dog.
That's fucking dark, Molly. That's where you went?
Well, the way he hates her is so like intense. He must think she's like, or like she got caught shaking the baby halfway.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Because the way he hates her is more just like, oh, she
I don't think Bethany would let her into her life if she shook a baby or killed a dog.
Okay.
I don't know. Would you?
Well, Bethany is like, keeps her at arm's length, you know? Like, she's like, yeah, you could stay here for the night and borrow a top.
Do you think that Bethany should have had more onus of Jillian and all her problems, being that she is the biological?
I actually respected her boundary, and I felt that, they were both put in an unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
With
not that adoptive parents are any less.
No, but with their parents dying in a car crash on the same day, it's very Party of Five, and like that show was about these kids dealing with this tragedy that's like, it couldn't be more freak. No one's ever prepared for your parents to die in like a plane crash or something, right?
Yeah.
And then they had to go get adopted. And so I feel like Bethany's like, we did the best we could with the environment we had. But like, Jillian, your attitude never got right. Like, you never were like thankful that we weren't living in foster care.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
She was so mean to, what's her face?
A lot of people.
The mom.
Yeah.
The mom. Her name's Paula or something.
Yeah.
Andy goes to Bethany's to talk to her. So he runs into the brother-in-law. And then he tells her, like, oh, no. Jillian doesn't
live here.
She, like, stays here once in a while.
Yeah.
But not anymore.
Yes.
This is her permanent address, 55 Valley Ridge Road. And then Bethany comes along and she's like, I'm going to call my sister and let her know that you're coming.
Yeah.
Which I felt was enabling. Because there was nothing wrong with that fucking house.
She just wanted her to, like, be prepared.
Yeah, I guess.
Because she's impulsive.
Yeah, I guess. But that's enabling.
Yeah.
You
and
know?
also, like, if she found out that, if Jillian found out that Bethany knew that Andy was coming over, she definitely would have lost it on Bethany. Right?
Yeah. But, like, she would never kill Bethany. I feel like her only loyalty in this world is to Bethany and whatever guy who might marry her.
Man, I don't know.
Does she even... Yeah, these hoes ain't loyal.
Maybe that's why the husband hates her, because she came for Bethany. And maybe that's why Bethany is holding her at arm's length. She attacked Bethany.
Yeah. Like, she shot her with a BB gun?
I don't know about that. Maybe she tried to choke her. That seems to be her move.
Yeah, or like she just went too far at a party. Like there was like paintballs and she like fucking let 3 loose.
Why are you having like gun fantasies right now?
Because I just feel like that's the thing it would take for a guy like Scott, who's such a loser. That's the thing that it would take for him to be like, oh, this is a serious thing that I should be paying attention to.
You hate Scott too.
I hate him. Yeah, I do. So Jillian is passed out in the hotel room when the call comes in. I liked her pajamas in this scene, by the way. They were chic. And Andy pulls up to the mom's house. He helps her out with the trash.
He's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, he's like, he would have like, he had no problem with where she lived.
Yeah.
I think he probably expected it at that point.
Yeah.
But like, it's still, I mean, again, like, I would be happy to have lived in that house at times in my life.
Yeah.
So Andy and Jillian's mom figure out that she was like, it was the New York, Baltimore. Oh, I thought you were here.
Yeah, she was like, I thought you were in Baltimore. I thought you were in New York. Remember? She was like, and he's like, ooh, something's going on. And the mom's trying to cover up the best way that she can.
Yeah. If I was the mom, I would have been like, what she should have said was that she and Andy were going to stay in town, like at a fancy hotel.
Yeah.
And like owned up to being at the hotel.
Yeah.
Also, you have to think about cell towers being pinged.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
SVU 101.
She didn't listen to Serial.
So Andy's confirming with the hotel manager that his sister saw someone at the hotel. She's like, oh yeah. She said she was like, it was the last person she'd ever expect. And I was like, okay. So, and by the way,
is this when she's like slowly walking in front of them and looking at them?
No, that's when the cop recognizes her later, which is heaven. But like, that Heather thought that was the last person she would expect to see. I was like, oh, like a kind of like a 4-star Philadelphia hotel. Like the last person I would expect to see there is like
Lady Gaga.
Maybe Lady Gaga.
Yeah.
Wags. If I was at a hotel and I just saw Wags walking by the elevator, she has to have someone more surprising than her brother's kind of new girlfriend to see at a hotel.
Yeah.
If I saw Wags, I'd be like, would you fly here? Did you just like walk this whole way? She has to, maybe a college roommate that they stopped talking. I don't know. So
I hate interactions like that.
Jillian sees him when she gets off the elevator because she's leaving the next day, Sunday, and she hides.
And also, I'm like, the hotel does not have other exits? Like, it's a big hotel.
She's too daft for that. She's not like chic enough. Like
she's not calculating.
You know what? When you're adopted, like you don't know about leaving through the back door, okay? You don't know about like going down to your car in valet and like leaving through the back exit, okay? You're not like a socialite if you're adopted. Like name one adopted socialite.
Nicole Richie.
Okay. That's fair.
Hi.
Hey, how are you doing with everything? I haven't heard from you.
I'm okay. I didn't want to call you until I was done running these errands. Where are you now?
He knows.
Oh, with your sister.
Yes, she sends her sympathies.
Him and his strong cheekbones.
I will.
They're on full display.
You.
That jawline.
I want to help with anything I can.
Well, I'm still busy with family stuff, but let's do lunch tomorrow. I'm going to be downtown near your office.
He would look good in a Henley shirt. That's the kind of guy that he is.
Absolutely. He should be wearing a Henley. That would play better for him at work, too. Especially in Philadelphia. It's like approachable finance.
Yeah.
Oh, there you are.
Oh, God.
I was just calling Bethany again to ask about you.
Why? I was with Andy.
Yes, but didn't you hear my messages? He came by here looking for you.
Here, it's about to go down. No. Here it is.
He came here.
He said something about us being in New York.
I should have moved out. There's nothing worse than him seeing you in this house.
Jillian, I didn't know what to say to him because you don't tell me.
Everything is so screwed up now.
Oh, don't blame me. In Baltimore, New York?
She's trying her best. She's trying her best.
Oh, and honey, he said you own your own car.
Wow.
Oh, the car's a huge plot point that we gloss over.
Andy, I wanted you to see my sister's
She's
nice
practicing
house,
in her room.
I wanted it all to be perfect for you. Oh, no,
So that was
really intense.
Andy getting a text that says, "Can you talk? Question. Have much to explain."
I bet you do.
Yeah, and also they're on iPhones, which like for a movie that is this archaic in every other way was alarming to see. Mm-hmm. But I guess it's like, oh, the girl he met online, the one thing we'll get right is like the technology.
Bounce
except
rates.
For the dating site. Yeah.
Bounce rates in the except for the dating site. And she's on Plenty of Fish. But also he's rich. Why would he be on Plenty of Fish?
I mean, also it's British. Right?
Is it?
It started there, so I feel like it'd be less popular here.
Maybe, I don't know.
My cousin.
I know someone who like is with someone from Plenty of Fish.
People meet on POF. I feel like on the read, a lot of people meet on POF, like when they do their ask the read letters or whatever, or just the read letters. Like people, my cousin got involved in like a porno scam via Plenty of Fish. That's all I'll say.
I have a lot of questions that might happen off mic.
Well, we'll talk after. Yes, it was a
scam.
It was a bad situation. So Jillian gets into work and she's like, "Why'd you leave work? Why'd you leave the hotel early?" And the doctor's like, "Okay, listen, I know you drugged me."
This is insane because he's like, he took his own urine sample and he got the test results back. And this happened like the next day he had test results back.
I know, on a Sunday. And I was trying to Google like how long it takes to get lab results back.
It takes a long ass time.
Yeah. I mean, like if you do a toxicology report, I know it takes up to 90 days sometimes.
Yeah.
So then 6 months.
Yeah,
so
it takes a while.
So like this guy's he's like, "Oh, I just want to find out if there's like sleeping medicine in my pee."
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's bizarre.
Yeah, right.
So it's like what? He woke up, realized he was drugged, raced over to his office to collect a pee sample, then drove to got a buddy. Let's say he had a buddy in the DNA testing lab.
He probably does.
Right?
Yeah.
He got him to test it right then and there. And he's like, "Tell me the results first thing in the morning." And he goes, "I got you." And then he's going to owe him he's an OBGYN doctor. He's going to owe him something in the future.
Yeah, so like then he's like, "This is over.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you."
Sorry, I just explained what happened in behind.
No, it matters. Like it matters. Being drugged by your crazy girlfriend matters. So
he said, "I'm a doctor. I know I was drugged." I was like, "Do you? Okay."
I feel like I woke up groggy. Like this is not normal. Okay. This isn't a hangover.
So it's starting to fall apart for Jillian.
But also, like, I wouldn't have that kind of self-respect if I was a doctor that got drugged. I'd be like, you know what? I'm cheating on my wife. Probably got drugged. Big deal. My life is a mess.
Yeah.
So she's like, oh, you're gonna fire me? And he's like, no, you're gonna quit. And I'm gonna give you a severance and blah, blah, blah. And for some reason she says, I'm gonna sue you. And he's like, why? You like it. He's like, why? You were a grown adult. You know what you were doing. And I was like,
well, fair.
But also, like, why does that stop her from running with the narrative that she's going to sue him?
Yeah, I don't know. That he was using his power in a wrong way. She could still sue you for, like, harassment.
She still has a case, like, even though he said that.
I think he's just trying to intimidate her in the way that older men would try to younger women.
Yeah.
You don't have the money to fight me in court.
Yeah, the lawyer thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't. So... Although if he was one of the biggest gynecologists in the city, I feel like someone would take her case pro bono.
Gloria Allard's daughter.
Oh, hell yeah. So he's like, I'm also going to let you keep your health insurance for the year. I wouldn't want you running out of Trambian. That was the name of it. It's like Ambien, but with the T.
Yeah, it's so weird.
Killing it.
So is he implying that he knows whatever her psychological disorder is?
Maybe. I think he's just being like, go fuck yourself.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
And then she's like, I'm also going to keep the car. He's like, okay. And then she like trashes his office and leaves. And he's like, good God. Yeah. And, like, he's just like.
Nonplussed.
He's like, I knew this was going to be a disaster when things finally blew up with my mistress. But like, you know.
He was just like, oh, this is what was going to happen. It's my own fault.
It was always going to be something like this. But like, this is what it was.
I bet he has like a receptionist named Carol or something like that. That's like, Carol, it happened again. Just please go to Office Max and get me some new supplies. Thanks.
Like Suburban Madness. Like literally where the woman's like, I'm watching that was a movie we did earlier this season. Like, I'm watching everyone watch him get fucked. So Jillian goes to leave the office and she sees Andy in the lobby and he was going to meet her for lunch that day anyway. So this is all like kismet. It's all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
But he won't kiss her, which is like obvious. That's the moment you know you're going to break up. Heather left her purse behind at the desk, and then an assistant comes up and drops the purse on the counter, and she's like, he doesn't want you coming back. So Andy now knows that she's been fired. And
it's falling apart right in front of Andy, which is her worst fucking nightmare.
Dude, like, when the walls close in on Jillian, they close in.
Yeah.
Like, it's all at once, and it's like that perfect storm of, it's just like, girl, like,
the house of lies that she built were dependent on each other. And so when one pillar falls, the house falls apart.
Realizing that she's stupid makes me sad. The realization that she's dumb. Like, this is why this happened. She's fucking dumb. And like, why does Lifetime do that? Why do they give us these, like, Kaylee Cuoco in the Drew Peterson movie, I know was based on a real character, but like, could you, like, smarten her up for TV? Like, it just is sad to think about, like, some girl being hoodwinked by, I mean, Drew Peterson in real life is not Rob Lowe, who I don't even find attractive.
In that movie, he was definitely not attractive.
Well, I mean, he wasn't, when he took his shirt off, he was hot.
Didn't he have a fake stomach in that movie?
A little bit.
Oh, no, he had
like,
gained weight for that movie.
Like, and he's like doing like the whole stripper scene in the final. I mean, that's like legend. I remember early in our friendship, you and I had talked about that, and we were like, "Did you see that though?" Okay. So, as they're about to leave, her ex walks in. He's there to collect his money. He needs the 10 grand to pay for his painting, his whole thing, his deductible, whatever. And then she's like, I can't give you the money yet, but I will. He's like, I'm here to collect.
He's like, I've been really reasonable about this.
And he has, but like, it's also like, dude, like, a day late, a buck short. Like, this bitch couldn't pay for shit when you were together. Like, you think she like got 10 grand together in a week? So he's like, when I get the money, I'll give you my car. Oh, She gives him the car.
Yeah, she gives him the car.
She's like, this is worth way more than your house and your painting. And I'm like, what is it? Like a Maserati? We never even see the car.
I think it was a Mercedes or something like that. But I will say, like, is the car in her name? Like, did the doctor buy it out flat out? Like, I was like, can she give that car away? You can't just hand someone the keys.
I think maybe he knows he's keeping it as collateral because, like, also I'd be like, well, what color is it? Like, what? I don't know. Like, what is it? Drop top? Like, what is it?
He's going to be clicking. That's what the rest of the, like, while all this stuff is unfolding, he's clicking around in that garage looking for her car.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's, like, hitting the sound that he's like, yeah. Worst. She did give the parking spot, but, like, for me, like, I would still get lost because I'd be like 28B. Like, that must mean it's near, like, 37C. Like, I would be like, I'd be so bad at that. So, one of my biggest pet peeves is like when people have serious business to do, like break up, and they want to go over food. And they're like, so have you thought about what you want to eat? It is my biggest pet peeve because it's like, I don't want to eat anything.
You're going to ruin this dish for me for the rest of my life. Like, I can never eat a chicken sandwich ever again because, like, you dumped me while I was eating one or something like that.
When someone dumps you in front of a hamburger, you're just like... Well, like, I'm not going to eat this hamburger now and look like a fucking fat ass, like, while you're dumping me. Like, I already feel like shit. Like, you've already said I'm not, like, worthy of you. And now you want me to shove a fucking cheeseburger in my mouth?
Wait, like, does it usually happen before you eat the food?
I mean...
Or does it happen while? I've never been dumped in a restaurant before.
I had a breakup that the guy was like, we're going to go to dinner. And I was like, okay. And he's like, we'll go to Damon's, which is like one of my favorite places in Glendale.
Oh, yeah, don't ruin that place.
And I was like, well, it's obvious we're breaking up. So could we like just have this conversation? Because I'm thinking to myself, like, don't dump me in a restaurant because then it's like I'm going to cause a scene and I'm going to look crazy. And then it's another opportunity for you to make me look fucking crazy. Let's just break up in the car. And then after we broke up, he's like, well, do you want to go to dinner still? And I was like, what are we gonna do? Like, cheers to old times? Like, no. Like, I can't eat a fucking filet mignon. Like, I just fucking lost the love of my life. Like, people are fucked, including Andy. You know what? I don't expect Andy to know how to handle a situation, but this ain't right.
What you want?
I'm not hungry.
Yeah, me either. So, how's everything going with the funeral plans?
Were you at the Green Hills Hotel on Friday? Did you see Heather there?
Andy's pissed.
He knows. He's giving her the opportunity.
What's up, guy? Wasn't she leaving town? Just call me, okay?
That doesn't prove anything.
Maybe not, but I went to the hotel myself, and the woman in the gift shop said she recognized your photo.
She went immediately from trying to save the relationship to be like, you can't prove I murdered your sister.
I know, it's crazy.
And like 3 seconds flat.
What do you know about Heather's accident?
Nothing.
Accident.
I was at the hotel, but I wasn't cheating on you.
I don't care about that. I went and talked to your mother, too. You lied to me, you lied to her.
I had to go to the hotel to meet my boss. He was there for business. I had to ask him a few things.
What?
He was the older man, the doctor.
Shut up, man.
And that's when you
Why you just sat so close to me?
Pregnant, and I had to ask him advice.
She's terrible at lying, too.
Not at the office?
It was better to do it there.
What?
Okay, let's go and ask him then, Jillian. Look, I don't care about you and him. I don't care about where you really live or the fact that you're not taking courses at Fairfield. Yeah, I called them this morning. They have no record of you there.
See, he wised up. He wised up.
That's also like front page news. Like, I would have led with that.
I love you.
But like,
I think he wanted to catch her in another trap.
I would have
another
been
lie.
like, so I've been doing some research, and you ain't who you say you are.
You're just gonna lay all your cards out on the table like that? No, not me. I'm gonna try to trap you in another lie. So I'm like, oh, also, I checked out on that.
You tell me the truth now, Andy.
You're sick. You're sick, Kristina Lopez.
You?
No,
You're lucky I don't lie.
You're a boy.
I'm lucky I don't lie.
I don't lie either. I'm
Life
terrible
was
at
just
it.
bought for you. Your mom gave you a job and a fancy car. Do you know what I did to get my car? Or what I did to keep us
Blowjobs.
together?
Anal.
No, Jillian, tell me.
Fucking let his
There are
best
so many
friend
twists
fuck
and turns
me
to
while
this,
he
like-
watched and filmed.
Her moods
It's
go all over
online.
the place.
A video of me fucking my doctor boss's best friend is online. They sell it for $9.99 a month, okay? And I don't see any profits from that. That's what I did to get that car. Andy. Like, do you think that like Jillian like what do you think like that doctor had her do? Like, what were his kinks? Like, do you think he like is a strap-on guy?
Jillian seems so prudish to me that it's just like the fact that she had to do any sexual favors.
Oh shit, oh prude.
Yeah.
If you're murdering someone like that, like you're also crazy in the sack. Like that's why that's why her bosses kept her around like this whole time. It's because she's obviously it's like she wasn't willing to put out in a major way.
Yeah.
Jillian is anal on the first date.
Okay.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know.
Do you agree?
I don't know. On the first date, I don't know. She looked like she was saving it for that boiler.
What boiler? Oh, the water.
The fictional water boiler that she was trying to.
They were gonna fuck in the water boiler.
No.
Oh.
I think she was saving that orifice for the water boiler.
Oh, I feel you. So he talks to Andy is talking to a detective. He's like, the woman at the gift shop confirmed that he saw Jillian with some older man. He shows a picture of his girlfriend to the detective, and the detective is like shook. And I thought he was gonna be like, oh, she's so notorious, she's in the system. But he's like, oh, I saw her the other night. Yeah. Which I was like, that's probably why I'm not a detective, because I don't recognize faces.
Really?
Yeah, if some like girl walked past me in I'd be like, I don't know who she is, especially if like she was wearing different makeup.
Oh no, I'd be able to tell.
Ed is good with that too.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like I'd be able to be like like on, dignitaries have people who like whisper to them like, oh, this is the vice president.
Like in Princess Diaries. Oh no, what's that in Devil Wears Prada?
Yeah.
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 Like
I
I'm
could do
Anna
that.
Wintour and you're Anne Hathaway.
Yeah, I could be that.
Are you Anne Hathaway?
I'm the
in this-
Andy.
Honey,
I don't really get fashion. It's cerulean. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day with friends, and I'm like, what about a movie where a girl has a boss that's mean to her, and you're like, well, I'm in a very competitive industry. It makes sense that this wouldn't be easy.
Yeah.
Like, why are all these people so like, my boss is mean. I have to be anorexic and a fashionista. Like, it's like, no, just like your boss, this is what is required of you for the job. Suck it up. Still keep fucking Adrian Grenier. Like, you can figure it out. You have hours in the day. Loser.
Okay.
So, the detective looks her up. She pops up in the system. So she has a record that includes felony assault.
So $15,000 that she's paying off.
Oh, hell yeah. And it's from 2 years ago. So she's been paying it off that slow. I'm like, what is this doctor paying her? So he says he's going to stop by her place tonight and have a chat with her. And then he's like, I'll be in touch.
Yeah.
So Jillian gets home from work early, and mom says that she's starting to work again on Monday. So Bethany is taking her to go buy new clothes. And I'm like, God, she really is hard up.
Yeah. Which I thought that was nice of Bethany.
And she was also wearing like a green, like there was lame elements, like a blazer. Like the mom was very like, oh, you're like 80s hooker style.
You could also tell in this scene that like she was inviting Jillian to come, but she didn't really want her to come with.
Yeah.
And she was just like, you should come. I mean, but you just got home. You probably need to rest.
It's like inviting your friend that it's like, it would be good for them though. Like, I don't really want them there, but it would be good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is like kind of a false friend move, or maybe the best friend move. I don't know.
It depends. So then she goes, but then she comes back.
Yep. She goes out to the car, and then she comes back. She's like, listen, I told her that I would stay with you and that we could drive over to your car later. Little does she know she doesn't have a car anymore.
No.
And then she says that Bethany called her work that day and they said that she had been fired. So Jillian's mom is like, she's like, it's okay. You could stay there for as long as you want. And Jillian's like, my biggest nightmare is being stuck in a house like this with you. And like, I was like, girl, like, you have nothing.
Yeah.
And you're still shitting on this bitch?
Yep. That's when it was over for me for Jill. Well, no, it's been over for me for Jillian for a while, but that's when I really felt for the mom.
Lights out on Jillian.
Yeah.
Jillian says that it's her biggest nightmare, blah, blah, blah. She says I don't want you as a mom. So she goes in and she starts to strangle her and she's strangling real hard.
Yeah, like actually trying to kill her.
So the detective gets to her house and he can hear like screaming and strangling that's caused to enter.
And Andy is hot on his tail even though he was told not to go.
I was like, Andy, could you have maybe given it 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, it was like, he like drove up as the guy was getting out of the car.
Yeah.
I'm like, Andy, like, at least pretend you respect the police.
Yeah.
You're trying to get them to like find out who killed your sister. So yeah, Jillian's arrested. Andy shows up. He comforts the mom. And as Jillian's leaving, she screams.
He comforts the mom. That's the thing. It's just like he jumps in there and it's like, are you okay?
Well, the ending is even more weird.
No, yeah, this is when I was like, oh, okay.
So, but as Jillian's being hauled out, she screams, "You're weak, Andy. What have you ever done for love?"
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, that's her whole thing is she thinks that like for love, you have to fucking kill someone.
Yep. Yep. This is when she's in the interrogation room. This is like the end of Psycho, the Psycho moment.
I had no choice. I had to do it. She was never gonna accept me. She was always judging me. I could see it in her eyes.
And that's why you pushed her.
No. I don't care what that spoiled bitch thought of me. I pushed Heather because she was gonna tell Andy.
Oh, she confessed.
She couldn't keep it to herself. She wanted to tell him. Because she wanted him to leave me.
You got that on tape.
And she had no right to destroy our love. She had no right to come between us.
She's a sister.
Jillian's like dying to die in jail though. Like she's one of those people that's like, I would love to die in jail. Please, let me die in jail.
I did it for us. That's how much I love him.
Okay.
That's the other thing that bothered me about this. Like, I don't think she loved Andy. I think she loved the idea of being in love. And so, like, she wasn't obsessed with Andy. It wasn't that deep.
She doesn't know how to feel emotions because she's a sociopath.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, so then we, I hate it when they try to, like, if this was like, okay, I guess if this was about JonBenet and we were like jamming on like how fucking terrible Patsy and everyone, blah, 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 all those people were. I could get going back out of respect to an image of someone's tombstone. But like Heather, I don't give a fuck about Heather. Like I'm sad she died, sure. But like I don't need to be like, what happened at her gravesite though? Like, but like who came and like laid flowers upon her grave?
Well, this is just like a weird transition that they're making. And this is a weird way that they're ending the movie.
So Heather Marie Collins, I get it, you're white. She has flowers laid upon her
Connecticut
gravestone.
white, yeah.
I know. I mean, like Heather Marie Collins.
Collinsworth.
So basically, like the mom, Jillian's mom, turns to Andy, who's there with her, and he has his arm wrapped around her, and she's like, "Thanks for letting me do this." And he's
it's
like,
so weird.
"Thanks for doing it."
It's
and
so
like,
weird.
And then like, what? You put some fucking gardenias on the coffin of a person your wife killed, and then you want that your daughter killed, and then you want that guy sister to like hold you and be like,
he's doing
hey.
a lot of the emotional work here for like He's being a very gracious guy for someone whose sister was murdered.
He probably beats off to it later.
I would not want to be around the family of the person who killed my
I think
sibling.
he like gets off on it. But like I really feel like he gets off on like just completely like being the man. Nice guy syndrome.
The hero?
Yeah. He's like, oh, I'm going to like fix this thing. I could put my emotions aside for yours.
Nobody asked you to fix it, Andy. I just wanted you to listen.
Is that what she said?
I don't know, but I could see him getting that sort of argument in the future of his life. You know what I mean? I'm
That's
not asking you to fix it. I'm not asking you to fix it. I just want you to listen.
Guys love to fix. That's like their whole thing. They're
Pro
like,
tip, if there are any guys listening, don't fix, just listen.
Yeah, and like guys do listen, and I don't care if they're offended because like literally fuck you. I don't even know you, and I don't care what you do, who you talk to, where you live, where you work, who your friends are. It's none of my fucking business, okay? And I hope you guys are listening to this on a road trip, and I hope that the girlfriend in the car is listening to this and be like, yeah. And by the way, I still don't. And like I hope she's projecting that, and you guys are going camping in Joshua Tree, and she's so fucking mad at you.
Who are these people?
And they're people I made up who are listening to the podcast right now. It's like a hypothetical. Ever heard of it?
No, I know, but I'm just like, I cannot picture these people. Like, do they go to Patagonia a lot? Is that how they are? Or I'm just trying to...
I don't know. They definitely like hummus. Okay, so before we do the scale, sometimes I like to go over like things that pop up on the IMDb.
Oh, that's how the movie ends, by the way. They're all just like walking out of the graveyard. So
just being a bunch of fucking pussies. Like literally like.
So I have some things.
I hate it. It's so stupid.
I have some things.
Okay. I'll read some did you knows after. There's only one.
Did you knows? Okay. So I wonder if we have the same one, but because of this movie, I discovered an Evil Babes Wikipedia.
Okay. What's that?
It's basically just like any woman who has portrayed an evil character.
Oh, I like that.
That is also hot.
Okay.
So there's an entire portal
this on
for that.
After Ellen? An After Ellen thread? What was this?
Not an After Ellen thread, but I cannot tell you how much I appreciate that you know the existence of those things.
What do you think
Are you going on autostraddle these days? What's going on?
I mean, well, no, I love Heather Hogan's recaps of PLL. Doy.
Yeah, Heather Hogan's
But like, you
great.
think I don't know about After Ellen? You need to get a fucking life, bitch. Like, I worked on the internet for so long. I know all about After Ellen, okay? Okay. I got my tea where I can get it. And a lot of it is on After Ellen.
It was. The site is not, I don't know. Let's not get into that.
Lesbians and fans and friends of lesbians love to share, okay? We all love to share. Mm-hmm. Diversity.
The thing that I was going to say was I thought of an alternate title for this if it took place like in 2017.
Give it to me.
He swiped wrong.
Oh my God. No. Kristina.
He swiped wrong.
Oh my God. That is so good. That is so good. That is so good. I'm hesitant to have this even be in the podcast because I will write that Lifetime movie with you because this doesn't cover everything. He is swiped wrong. Oh my God, that is, or she swiped wrong.
She swiped wrong.
You know what? Let's put it back in the hands of the female because like this is television for women, okay?
Yes.
Fuck that.
She swiped wrong. Sorry, I just got really excited. Sorry.
Wow. Sometimes you blow me away. That was one of them. I mean, you often blow me away on different levels for different reasons. That is like
she swiped
that
wrong.
is sheer genius.
Yeah. Okay. So the other thing that I was going to say was two things. This is some IMDb trivia. I found out that the lead actress is actually the little sister or the sister of the girl who played the youngest daughter on The Nanny. She was on Californication.
I just read that on IMDb.
She's just like her, but blonde.
Love that.
Yeah.
You know who's really funny?
Who?
Nicole Tom, who played the oldest sister / Rice in Beethoven. Stephen Ray Morris does this other podcast called The Worst Ever Podcast. and they had Nicole Tom on, and she has these stories from her life that are so like, Rice from Beethoven, like fuck. I'm working on it, babe. Like, don't worry, we'll like get to there. Like, don't like cut that out.
Okay, sorry.
I would love to have Nicole on Please Advise. We'll work on it someday. I can't do that right now.
The other thing I was going to say was the one piece of IMDb trivia. So, like, this is in the trivia section. At the end, Jillian is arrested.
Oh, okay. So it says spoilers. Oh, yeah. Oh, this is under spoilers.
Yeah.
So it says spoilers. At the end, Jillian is arrested.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a spoiler. Thank you. Who added that? And then it says, in the film, Jillian tells Andy to pick her up, and she gives him her sister's address, which is 209. When he picks her up, the number on the door is 82. That's not really a spoiler. That's more a continuity error.
Yeah.
And I would have put that under continuity, but...
Well, I guess it's a spoiler that Andy goes to the sister's house.
Oh, right.
I don't know.
It's like, surprise. They like hung. Okay, so let's go through and see if there's any like other...
The skill.
Okay. I might have you read a review.
Okay.
Okay. That's the name of one review. Let me see. I love it all. Where are the stars? Okay. Do you want to read someone who loved this movie or someone who hated this movie? Someone wrote mesmerizing as their headline.
All right, let's go with that one. Mesmerizing. Got it.
Mesmerizing.
Okay. Mesmerizing. 9 out of 10. And this was left on July 2017. So it's pretty recent.
By S. Parmar from the United Kingdom.
Oh, okay, cool. Never would I have chosen to watch this film. It was on TV, and I gave it a moment. I was intrigued and watched the majority and remainder of the film. I don't think I missed much in terms of outset. The film centers around Jillian, a sexy, slender young woman. She could get most men and she takes full advantage of her assets. Gross. However, what lies within her character isn't the liberation of sexuality as a standalone, but rather a psychotic individual who is incredibly narcissistic. Throughout the story, we delve into Jillian's upbringing, how she uses this as an excuse to justify her evil actions. Yvonne Zima, who plays Jillian, is mesmerizing in her performance. So the headline is talking about Yvonne.
She like this is a woman that like hooked up with Yvonne at a bar in London and like was like her only was to be like, hey, I left a review on your IMDb thing. Like I like praised you.
Yvonne Zima, who plays Jillian, is mesmerizing in her performance of bipolarity. No one could see her evil other than her stepmother, played by Mary Margaret Humes, with aplomb. Who puts up with her inordinate amount of detriment, also eventually an ex who blackmails her. Sure, there will be many negative verdicts and points made about this film. What grabbed me was the strength of the key performances, and given such basis, TV movie, how they outshone moot issues of the film. I'm usually quite nitpicky when it comes regarding a lack of sensibilities and plot, but in all honesty, I don't even care. The denouncement was predictable.
Okay. Like literally like who is she fucking that worked on this movie? That's like what you do.
That you assume that it's a woman leaving that review.
Yeah, you're right. It could be a man. It could be a man. Who was he fucking?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to read one that says Unfortunate Acting. It's by Kruger's Books from the United States, September 30th, 2016. He writes, I don't mean to be cruel, but why in the world did the producers ever cast Ms. Zima in the role of Jillian? This lovely young lady couldn't act her way out of a paper bag. The supporting cast was overshadowed her by a mile. Personally, I would have preferred seeing the store's owner play Jillian than the other way around. Dottie. Oh my God. He like loved Dottie.
Yeah.
He's like wet for Dottie. So he goes, Miss Zima seemed to stall or at the very least pause before speaking her lines. Was
true.
she unsure of herself in her role, or was this simply a bad direction? Someone should have explained that acting bipolar does not mean acting zombie-like. Her downs were pitiful and her ups were ridiculous. Overall, I was extremely disappointed with this movie. I think it had promise, but someone dropped the ball.
People are really running with the bipolar disorder thing. Did we miss something?
Like literally, probably. Like all I can imagine was that they were like Bipolar Sunday on Lifetime Movie Network. Like they do like chunks of like of things where they like class them together, and you're like, well, I mean, yeah, like bipolar. That is a sort of
they
like,
do that with SVU too.
Yeah, they'll be like all the Stablers get in stitches because they punched pedophiles. Marathon on SVU, HBO USA. That was
HBO USA.
Yeah, that was me doing a commercial.
Okay. Olivia Benson goes on dates.
Does she ever though? She can never allow herself to have fun. And like right now,
That's what I have in common with her.
Rewatching it, like right now, I'm in the middle of like season 8 and 7 where they were like, I don't know, like, is Elliot gonna put it in Olivia? You decide. And
like, they really toyed with that.
And they started to like drop lines where they'd be like, oh, how about you check out your partner's stats rather than her ass? And I'm like, iced tea? Like, why are you going after her with that? Like they've been partnered for 7 years. Like they've like seen each other through some real shit.
He has like 5 kids.
So Catholic too.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kristina, is that all your facts you have?
Yeah, that was it.
Okay.
I think we're good. Yeah.
So can you please tell me what you think the best movie of all time ever made is? Sammy, do you have a phone calculator? Because you have to do the math on this.
Yeah. Sammy, take out your phone calculator while I try to figure out the best movie of all time.
Songs.
I know, I'm sorry.
Singing songs. Trees, professional tree. Professional business.
I don't know why I'm having such a hard time naming like the best movie ever, just because like I think I said Tootsie last time and I want to make it a drama this time.
So you're like, for Color Girls, where I passed out. I passed out.
I know you did. I was with you.
I know, but I'm just saying, like, did you love that movie?
I love that movie. I also like The Color Purple, but
Color Purp.
Yeah.
Someone else has said Color Purp. That might be like a good judge of, because that's dramatic. There's definitely victims in it. It's definitely like female centric. It's a good Lifetime comparison movie.
Well, let's say like The Hand That Rots It. No, that's too close to like what it is. I'm sorry. I'm having a really hard time naming a movie. Let's just go with
Color Purp.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I just spilled wine all over the floor. You guys, you know what? I just like to break in here with a sponsor for Being Yourself. I'd like to sponsor this episode by myself, saying that sometimes it's okay to be yourself. For a code off of Being Yourself, go to patreon.com/mother. Just look for Mother May Save the Podcast on Patreon. Like, I need money, or I'm not going to do this podcast for another season for a while. And like, also, I don't care like how long the internet takes to like catch up to me. Y'all can suck my dick. All right. Bye. Is there an ad?
Yeah. All right, we're back. Yeah.
Okay, so color purple. Okay, so the acting on a scale of 1 being the Color Purp,
jeez,
5 being this movie. What would you say?
A 2.
You think this is close to the Color Purple?
Oh no, sorry. This is a 5.
This is what's
like
been
a 4.
happening this season. This didn't happen last season. The people are like, wait, 5 to what's 1 fat? What's 1 fat? No, we're trying to get to the highest number we can, but I don't want that to influence your decision, because I also see people being like, oh, my movie's not the most Lifetime. It's like, it doesn't have
it's
to
be. Solid 4. It's a solid 4.
Underreaction. Something happened and people didn't act correctly. The action or the reaction to a situation was like, okay, I would have given that more personally.
I feel like Jillian's mom was underreacting to her crazy outbursts.
Also, Andy and the mom.
Yeah. So
like
that's like another solid like 3.5.
3.5 is fair.
Yeah.
This isn't the more they're like, oh, Lacey is missing. We will set up a looking station. Okay, so overreaction. Something happened and it was like, hey, that is not an appropriate way to act in response to a situation.
Jillian did that a lot, so probably another
a
4.
Dialogue.
That was terrible.
What I do love is like when they do light jokes and it's like, it's like, it can be like, tea. Like, what I thought that our greatest comic relief was Dottie.
Yeah.
And Dottie's situation wasn't that funny because she was a rich shop owner.
Yeah.
That was like, I could let this silk blouse go.
Yeah.
Or I could terrorize this secretary that's like obviously also a psycho.
Yeah.
But like Dottie's a villain / non-villain. Or comedy came with, or dialogue, I guess, or comedy came with like Steve's hair.
So if I gave this a high rating in the dialogue level.
Dialogue.
Yeah. What does that mean? That means it was really bad.
Oh, I mean, I don't think it's better than a 3.
I think it's a 3, yeah. I say like a 3.
Could have been, well, no, you know what? I'm going to have to say exposition in this movie was done so strangely.
Yeah, that's true.
This is a 4.
Okay.
This is a 4 for exposition.
Cool.
It's a bad exposition job they did.
Yeah, they did a really bad job.
Okay, so there's wardrobe, which is an overall thing where it's just like, do you like the sweaters? Do you like the blah, blah, blah? Does that seem appropriate for the character? And then there's 2 subcategories that we will judge after. So just for this, take into the actual
I feel like
garments.
3. Like everyone was dressed okay.
I think a 3 too.
Yeah.
There was like money that they spent elsewhere, and I'm not really sure where it was, but there was money they spent elsewhere. I think probably on locations.
Yeah.
Then there's wigs and weaves.
There were no wigs or weaves.
Where I like will allow that to slide a little bit is with men's hair, for example. Like it was the guy's hair really bad? Was it so like they needed to do extra?
No, I feel like that was 2.
It was across the board.
Yeah.
I think maybe it was like a 1.5.
Yeah. Okay, 1.5.
Because I thought Steve's hair was offensive.
Okay.
I thought Heather's hair was not fresh or
Who's
for her.
Steve?
What's the brother-in-law's name?
Scott.
Whatever. Like literally fucking white guy number whatever. Okay. You will fucking look the same to me. I don't want to date any of you. I don't want to date anyone. Just leave me alone. Let me in my house. Okay. Don't be mean to me.
She's fine.
Fine. So wait. Dialogue was 4. Wardrobe was 3. I messed it up. Wigs and weaves is 1.5.
Yeah. Does that seem right, Sam?
Makeup. It does. It is. Makeup. Was there any like, oh, that's like a weird makeup job?
No, everything looked pretty okay.
It was okay. I'm going to give it a 1.
Yeah.
Crying. I like that big emotional crying scene. And in this movie, I would say that almost takes over with, and I think for season 3, we're going to do some adjustments on the scale because I think crying / death / medical scene is important to know.
Yeah.
And like the mom having a heart attack was like,
yeah, that was not good. But I felt like when she was being choked out at the end, she did a really great job and she was very emotional.
And then what's her face never cried? Jillian never cried.
She like cried, but it wasn't like real crying.
Yeah. And then
I would give it like a 2.5.
Okay.
I feel confident about that.
Victimization of the female character. Now, this is where we usually run into some stuff because Jillian, I don't think was a victim at all. She ran the show, but her victims were her mother, Heather, her sister, like this sort of emotional entrapment. And like, so usually it centers around someone where it's like, okay, Jodi Arias, like so she's a victim of Travis because Travis like literally.
So like she's like a 1? She's a victim of her own mental health.
So let's say we take her aside because this is like the female victims. This is television for women. Okay.
Yeah.
So they like to do a representation. They're like, these are all the ways you can be abused.
Yeah.
You could be a rich woman who inherited a company and you do the best you can and you give your kids the jobs, but it puts them in the danger zone like Kenny Loggins. Or you could just be a woman who adopts 2 children out of the kindness of your fucking heart. And then one of them is evil and she strangles you and watches you have a heart attack. Or you could be Bethany, who's like, I would love to be there for my sister.
So what would you rate it?
I'm just saying, out of all the female characters, I think there was it was a fruit salad of upset. And like, I would say maybe it's a 3 for me.
Okay.
Because, like, maybe don't adopt kids if they're going to beat you up.
You don't know that.
Maybe give them back.
I don't think that's how that works.
Okay, well, if you know the adoption laws for like having a psychotic adoptive child, please email askpleaseadvise@gmail.com so it'll go directly to Kristina so she can see that if you have like an adoptive child, it's like, hey, I'm gonna murder the whole family in her sleep. And also Bethany can suck it. She's 8 years older than me and she's accepting this adoption. I'm not. Bethany must have been 14.
Bethany was, she was a little
8 years older.
Yeah.
Okay, font. I think the font was really good for this one because
I would have loved if they did something with the online.
That's where they missed the mark. You're right. It would have been like, especially for this era, like almost like a green digital clock font.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like the net.
2.5.
Wow. Or oh my God, it would have been so chic if they like showed the BBM screen.
Mm-hmm.
Or if they did like the title as like a text bubble that was like the girl he met online.
Yeah, it'd be like a little Tinder's thing right now.
Okay, so
for she swiped wrong, it's gonna be like a little Tinder thing.
Don't stop talking to me about the best movie of all time. I'm so mad at you for like literally for days. How long have you been sitting on this?
A couple days, yeah.
What a bitch. We saw each other yesterday. Like literally, Kristina, I'm hurt. This is a 3 for font.
Okay. Molly made it a 3.
Do you think it's worse?
No, I said 2.5, but 3 is good.
It toppled me over because I was like, oh, that already comes in like basic editing text.
Yeah.
They just put a shadow on it.
Yeah.
Sammy, what is our score?
29.5.
29.5.
Holy
okay.
crap.
So that's not that's like mid-range for us right now. But here's the thing, is that like this is why when we take our break, and the only way I'm doing this podcast again is if ladies get information and like hit up the Patreon. If you're in PR, you're listening to this, like NPR, like any NPR person in PR is what I'm trying to say. If you are a person in PR, I'm drunk as fuck, but you guys know I listen to that Bark Box ad. Okay, it was like celebrated. I'm not doing this podcast anymore unless I get paid a lot of money because it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work.
I'm tired.
I know.
My soul's felt abused for days.
I know.
I'm supposed to take my depression out on these people. I'm so sorry, you guys. I will do another season of this podcast, but I have to do it after. I have another podcast I want to launch. It's like a semi-annual, and we're going to do this literally once a calendar year. We're not going to like do this like 2 months in a calendar year or like 2 seasons in a calendar year because it's just too much. It's not fair to malls. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to Lifetime. It's not fair to Haley Duff, who has worked so hard for everything she has. But I will tell you this. We have 2 movies left this season.
Ooh.
You have to join 8 Inches, Uncut, the Mother May I Sleep With podcast group, because basically, and you have to enter the letter 8, not the like EIGHT thing. You have to like literally write 8. That will get you into the
number
group.
8, yeah.
Like the number 8. Yeah, like you get it.
Yeah.
Kristina, you get it.
Yeah.
You have to enter like the
It's like a 0 with a belt.
You have to like, yeah. Yeah, it's like, hello, I am trying to wear an A-line skirt, so I'm going to put a chunky belt around this shit. Bitch. Yeah. Listen, so Sammy's doing the last 3 episodes with us. She's also the producer of Emotionally Broken Psychos and literally listens to me more than she should ever have to. And Steven, I hope you're having fun in Australia. I miss you. And bringing back a koala bear. And also, Kristina Lopez, thanks for being my best friend and for being like one of my favorite people to have on this pod because
hey, I like being here.
When we like joke, when we do like lulz about like, why are we best friends? Literally the reason why is because like he swiped right or he swiped wrong.
He swiped wrong.
No,
He swiped right? No. He swiped wrong. Like, that's actually a musical we are making right now. Like, literally,
you can make
you're
a podcast
here,
musical.
Let's get a fucking bassoon out here and like fucking swipe. Everyone needs to swipe. We're gonna do the best shit. Like, literally, how like it's gonna be like all the Real Housewives songs. Except like it's gonna be me and Kristina killing it.
Okay,
you guys. I drank a bottle and a half of wine. No, I shared it. I drank a bottle of wine myself. I love you. I'm sad also. And I also took a Klonopin earlier today. Confessions. I would like you to write me in about all of your troubles in your life. If anyone beats you, feel free to hit me up.
I'm not laughing at
no, like literally, no.
What
Kristina's laughing at is that I am a moron. Like, I have to hang up. Okay, like literally.
Sammy's gonna have a lot of fun editing this. Sammy, thank you for pitching in.
Sammy is the fucking most murderous editor in the game. Sorry, Steven.
That's very true.
Like, literally, she's in America right now because you're not in America. Like, Sammy's the fucking number one bitch in the game, and you better fucking watch your back, Steven.
She says this in front of another producer that she works with.
No, I mean, no, I love, like, no. There's literally no one I love. Like, look, like, Sammy, I'm so happy to have you because I know you, but you know that, like, deep down, I'm only making these comments because I miss Steven.
Oh, no, I get it.
And also, like, it's so cool to be in Australia. Like, I bet he's eating, like, weird food and, like, animals are everywhere.
I think we found a good end spot, Molly.
All right, Kristina. Okay, bye, you guys. I'll talk to you next week. We're going to be doing another movie. We have Daniel Quantz coming up, who is a friend of my friend Allison, or who's the husband of my friend Allison Rosen, who was on last season. We are also going to be doing a Moment of Truth movie, which is one of those movies that means it's like real after school special-ish. Except this one's about like getting fucking like diddled and then like having someone be like, no, you were not diddled. And then having them be like, guess what? Try and report it. And they're like, can't report it.
What?
Like, okay. It's going to be good. So watch that. And then also, I love you guys. Bye.
Bye.
I did it for Andy. I did it for us. That's how much I love him.
Okay.
Thank you for listening to Mother May I Sleep With podcast. If you liked what you heard, make sure you're subscribed in iTunes, Acast, or wherever you're listening to this right now. Want to help support the show? We've got a Patreon for that. Patreon.com/MMISWP. If you can't donate but still want to help, we always appreciate a 5-star review in the iTunes store with some kind words or passing this podcast on to your friends. You can find all of our social media pages and keep up with our ranking system by visiting mothermayisleepwithpodcast.com. Thank you to our producers, Stephen Ray Morris and Nicole Matthew, and of course you for going on this weird journey with us. Until next time, I'm Molly McAleer.